everybody. We need some Star Wars backdrops. I'm Brendan Jones. We are Easy Allies. Welcome to the Easy Allies November Q&A. For people that are on twitch.tv/Easy Allies, which everyone is that's watching this, you're probably like, what? We usually do this, stream this on YouTube, and we usually stream this early for people that are only on the tier of the Q&A which is, hello, I didn't know hear that, $20, thank you, Blood. Our $20 tier, patreon.com/Easy Allies. If you're just hanging out here live, you're just going to hear us answer questions. 31 total questions from our patrons at that tier. If you would like to be involved, if you would like to ask us questions that are guaranteed to get a response from all of the allies in attendance, then we will have one more ally in attendance that is not here. Michael Damiani is behind the camera. Michael Huber will be here as soon as possible. Don Casanova and Ben Moore are out. So that is the cast today for these 31 questions.
Just to be clear, Don never does these.
Yeah.
Right. You never know. I mean, now that we're in the studio.
You think we can pull him in?
You never know.
Okay.
Maybe.
No
Don't
chat.
make the promises.
Okay.
We don't want chat because
That
this
would
is
be-
a
yeah.
tier only thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Tier only.
Also, we've never done this on live to Twitch, so we're trying it out.
So there's a lot of new things. Yeah,
Yeah.
We're going live for everybody at the same time. We're doing this on Twitch, which we don't normally do. We're doing this in the studio, which we don't normally do. We normally record this in the coziness of, our own... Oh, Kyle's got his eyes on something.
What's up?
Just cutting off Damiani a little bit. I want to keep him in this show.
Oh.
Did you reframe it, Damiani?
Bring him in.
Did you
Bring
reframe
him
it?
in.
Did you reframe that camera?
I got my phone with the questions on it. Where you got your phone out? What are you? Oh, he's
I
turning
just
it off.
realized the one thing that we tend to do a lot
Hey,
when
Jones.
we get these long questions about music and stuff. We're all on Google.
I'll get it. Oh, no, hang on.
Every time I'm like, all right, what games came out on the Game Boy Advance? Let me look.
Yeah, we actually have to just be good for this.
We
time.
do.
No, you don't.
We are going to have to know soundtracks of a particular console, so it's good to...
What are
Oh,
you doing,
Damiani,
man?
he's
Damiani, what are you
setting
doing?
Because we can use the 3-screen thing because there's no latency. Don't have to worry about stutter or anything when I bring up game rankings where everyone wants to see the top.
This will
games.
lead to ruin, Damiani.
Don't do it,
There we
Damiani.
are.
Don't do it. Read the questions, Jones.
All right, let's kick it off. Alexander Zurianov. Hello, allies. I have a serious question this month.
Uh-oh.
In November 2017, I bought a Switch. It was basically my first interaction with Nintendo.
Whoa.
So I discovered the hard way that they don't follow industry standards like quick sales, great performance, headphone port on controller, PC connectivity, and even using established metaphors in UI design. Over the past 2 years, I've found workarounds for many issues, but I'm still struggling with one huge problem: swapped face buttons.
Oh, yeah.
Each time it takes me roughly a week to stop pressing wrong buttons and begin to enjoy the game. Of course, I wait until the end of the year to play all the Switch games in a row, but in 2019 I was interested in only one game, Fire Emblem Three Houses. I looked forward to playing it, but control issues completely ruined initial world discovery for me. Probably because of that, I didn't like this game as much as I thought I would, which is sad. I suspect that growing up with Nintendo made this a non-issue for you, but if you have any advice, I would love to hear it. Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
You're playing games with swapped face buttons.
Yeah. Nintendo goes back to, 85 or maybe even before that with Game & Watch?
Yeah, everything
Learn
else
your
is...
history.
Yeah.
Is he referring to X being on the top? Is that the issue?
Xbox, has A on the bottom.
Yeah.
Nobody put letters next to buttons before Nintendo. Nobody.
Well, people were saying this was a chance for Stadia to just complete the circle.
Yeah,
Oh,
move the
Push
X.
A, on the left,
Yeah.
and then we'd all...
Anytime there's QuickTime events, I screw up on Switch games because I'm always pushing the Xbox equivalent.
Yeah.
That's on you for playing too many Xbox games.
I mean, for the longest time, I thought the Xbox controller was better.
Well, who started? So I guess it was Xbox that started it. Xbox saw the Super Nintendo controller and was like, nah.
Well, PlayStation put the X on the bottom, which the Super had already had
so
the X on the
The
top.
cross button.
The cross
button.
On a PlayStation, it's a cross.
Where's the
crossover
Dreamcast, though?
Dreamcast is
might have
on.
been first.
I think it's
There we
Dreamcast
go.
put it on
Here.
the left.
The beauty of this.
But that's
Dead
gotta
nabbit,
be,
Damiani.
they got to be just being contrarians.
There's
They
a
literally
whole-
have to be like, it's gotta be a
Genesis is
snub.
A, B, C in a row.
Yeah,
There's a whole Final Bosman episode about
and then
this.
XYZ on the
Check it out.
with the 6 button.
Check it out.
Yeah.
It's the last one. Yeah, so check
X-
it out.
ABXY.
Dreamcast is on the left.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
So Dreamcast is the same as Xbox.
Why use the same letters and just put them in? That's so weird. Like at least PlayStation went with shapes. It's stupid that they have an X also, but like...
Oh, but to answer this person's question is like, really? Like, get over it. Like, if that's the reason...
Well, how, though?
If
I
that's
mean,
the
like,
reason
how-
you don't
if it's
like
a-
Fire Emblem, is
If it's a
because, like,
legitimate conflict.
you just, like, change your mind. Like, it's not that hard.
I know Amanda has gets stressed out when she goes back and forth.
We all have this problem, but it's just something you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
one
why
thing,
It's
some
not.
you
You have no advice. None.
I mean, it's one of the funny things about standardization, right? Because if you go back to like before like the Xbox 360, like shooters controls were all over the place.
they're all bad. Yeah.
You know, like after like Halo kind of started like a trend in like how things controlled, and then by 360 it's like okay, most shooters control this way. But before that, it's like you had to figure out, like you and me, Brandon, like we're inverted, but it's like if the game was inverted or not inverted, you just dealt with it. You know.
There was like a Polygon article about how to find the inverted controls in Fallen Order because it was on a screen that didn't look like you could go down. Like go down to more options, but it was like, oh, there it is.
So, Jones, my actual advice is, like, I think it's good for you. It's good for you to actually have to rewire your brain in these ways. Like, there's no...
Elasticity.
Yeah, like, just don't be grumpy about it. Don't think the game is wrong. Just be flexible, and that's actually
On the
good
flip
for your
side,
mind.
though, on the flip side, something that I like that the Switch does sometimes, even though it's confusing because the D-pad looks like the face buttons.
Talking about
is-
X and A being different on different controllers.
Sometimes it just has the 4 buttons as a shape,
a lot
and
of
it,
That's what I
and
was
it
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
lights up the bottom one or the right one.
position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind
Because
of
of the
like
Joy-Cons?
not necessarily like controller like QuickTime A/B stuff, but like I initially get really mad at games and then I'm like, okay, this will be a challenge. Like Souls, having the shoulder buttons. That initially I was like, all right, okay, that'll take a while. And any button where the bottom button isn't jump, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like any like platformer or third-person action game.
When they put it on the top,
Dragon Quest Builders,
It's like,
both of them.
There's
It's,
quite
like,
a
it's
few
the
that
top
do it,
button.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what are you
it's
doing?
just like,
Or
what?
I think Far Cry, it's on the top or something.
I've seen
There's some
Circle as
shooter
jump.
that it's the top. Maybe
Yeah.
Skyrim? I think it might be Skyrim. It's on the top.
Skyrim, it's spacebar, Jones.
Okay. I think it's time to move on to the next question. DRD 714, joyous greetings to the 9. Well,
Ooh.
the 7.
Hello.
Have a grand old Thanksgiving dinner and enjoy the kickoff into that festive rush. Capital F, capital R. Festive rush.
Sequel to Premium Rush,
Yeah.
starring
Right.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Question: what scene and what character would you play as in VR from any movie, book, show, video game, cutscene, cartoon, etc.? This would be a recreation of the source material with NPCs where you could act out any one of the roles. The interface would indicate your marks, the lines to say, and the interactions to make. Scene partners are totally an option, as well as for 2 players. Eternal love and respect, DRD 7-14. Core, right? Right? Right?
That the only one?
No,
Don't-
I'm guessing.
I mean,
Don't be bullied, dummy.
which scene?
Yeah, don't let him bully you.
You could do the whole thing.
Oh, I
literally
thought it was a scene.
No, it is one scene.
I thought it was
Joe.
one
One scene?
Yeah.
You're getting a little greedy there, Jones.
A little greedy.
He was like, Jones like, I'll be Batman.
Hold down.
All Batman, all movies, all series, starting at age 9.
I train, I go overseas.
All right, I got it. I got one. Dude.
All right.
I would be Gandalf
Nice.
on the bridge of Khazad-dûm against the Balrog, dude, slamming the staff down.
Doesn't he
Do you
die?
get to fall?
Yes.
Here's
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing. Here's the thing, Brad.
Yeah.
I'll be the Balrog.
Dude, there you go.
There we go.
PvP.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Some epic duel, dude.
Probably
do it.
Han in the asteroid chase from Empire.
Oh, nice.
Dude, Han and just the Greedo scene, and that's it.
Yeah, just in a
You
loop.
do it right every time.
Just McClunky over and over again.
I'll pick a Star Wars scene. I'm gonna be Jar Jar in the Senate.
When he
When I-
creates the Empire.
Yes,
Oh
so
my
I create the Empire, just to have everyone around me applauding.
Stark.
And if you shake your head, the ears like.
Yeah, I just want to know
flap
it's like to have like that, and like your tongue and everything's going. "Ah."
I guess I'd be Rooney Mara and Carol.
around. Whoa. Was that one of her earlier films, or?
No,
A couple years ago.
2015.
All right.
I never saw it.
I have
There's
no
a specific
context.
scene. I would
Okay,
be-
that scene.
Yeah.
In quotes.
What's
All
this,
right.
what happens? What's the scene?
It's a lesbian sex scene, Kyle.
Oh.
With an older woman,
Oh my.
Miss Kate Blanchett.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're
It's
sold.
a beautifully tender scene.
Oh my goodness. Bring up notes on my
I'm
phone.
trying to think of a scene where one actor just gets to scream at another actor.
Christian Bale off set.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
scene
Yes.
it's behind the scenes of the
Terminator,
movie,
yeah.
and I get to be Christian Bale and just yell at him.
And it's another player.
Don't walk in front of my light.
Yeah, all right, you win.
But he does. He does.
Yeah.
The gameplay element is the other player tries to walk in front of his light without him noticing.
It's super dude playing.
It's like stealing second base.
Yeah. You have to make it when he's not looking.
Okay.
Right, blood.
How did chat
We've
react
had
to
a good
that?
amount of time.
I don't know a specific scene though. But after that Xbox conference thing, at Honey I Shrunk the Kids,
Oh.
Yo.
that'd be a good one.
That'd be a cool VR
When they meet
experience.
Auntie.
Oh, it freaks me out, though,
Yeah.
dude.
I wanna be-
Scares
yeah,
me,
man.
bud.
I want to be Adam Boyes on stage announcing Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh,
Just on loop. You see it right there during the video.
Westbury.
That's fun.
Yeah, moments
Oh, you're the
real
Balrog.
life.
Balrog, dude. It's so epic.
Killing his friend Brad.
We both go
Yeah,
down.
they
yeah,
both go
they're-
down.
There's the whole fall and everything.
Full
They
act.
fight for like
Yeah,
2
they win.
days.
Yeah.
The only
The
way
last
you
minute
two
whip
would go
before
down. Yeah.
I love it. Brandon White. Hello, allies. I hope everyone is having a wonderful time as the holidays are approaching. So, as a longtime Pokemon fan myself, I'm curious of everyone's thoughts on the new Pokemon games. Personally, I, despite the negatives like no national decks, am rather enjoying the game. I think the music is excellent, and I'm really digging how open it feels. That soundtrack is out of control, man. Going through the tracks for the review, that is a very boisterous soundtrack. I know it's the Pokemon game to bring some allies back into Pokemon after missing a lot of previous generations, so I was curious to hear different allies' perspectives on the new games. Everyone stay great, as always, and I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Love and respect, Brandon. I played a little bit more than I had when we were on Frame Trap, but I did talk about it on Frame Trap.
It's downloaded.
Nice.
Wow.
Progress.
Good progress.
You got a plane ride coming up? You'll blast right through it.
Maybe.
Ian?
This is my second Pokemon game counting Let's Go Eevee.
Did
That-
you play Pokemon Go?
I mean, yeah.
It counts.
All right, it counts. This is my third Pokemon game counting Go and Go Eevee. Let's Go Eevee I thought was cute and fun, and I mean, it's just kind of a, updated weird clone of Red and Blue or whatever. I've come to the conclusion, having beat the first 3 gyms of this game, that Pokemon games are bad. But they're fun. I like them. But like they haven't changed or grown at all. Having played like a remake of the first one and now the latest one, they're basically the same. Which is not to say bad. I was just joking about saying they're bad, but like, yeah, they're not good.
You said it was bad. Frame Trap. I don't think you were joking, Kyle. Bad but fun is like,
Yeah.
there are, games like that of this gen, that I'm just like, well, I'm still playing it.
Millions of games like
Yeah.
that,
Still going.
dude. That's the backbone of video games.
But it's not
Jones.
swimming in sevens.
No.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
This is just like
Definitely.
Fun.
it's like an
Yeah.
abusive drug dealer. Where it's just like it knows you're just there for the dopamine of catching those mons.
And I think for our perspective, man, like I think we're having a much better time maybe than a lot of long-time Pokemon fans because when we did
We don't know what
when
we're
did Silver
missing.
Squad last week, I was like, "Is this one new?" I was like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Is this one new? He's like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, well." I was stoked to see all of those.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's some rock guy who's got a wheel on his butt. And he just
Yeah.
rolls around. I'm like, "This guy's great."
That guy's new.
He doesn't evolve.
You picked one.
He is.
The guy evolves into the minecart.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
He
new.
I
starts
thought
with
he
an
was
R,
new.
I think.
No, I just think he's ugly. I just think he's beyond ugly. Yeah.
The first one's fun.
Hideous.
They're all kind of ugly. But yeah, it is fun to catch mons.
Brad, what's your Pokemon impressions?
It's okay, but I doubt I'll finish it.
Fair.
I just
You
want to
play
finish it
Pokemon?
to try to fight.
No plans?
people.
I'm the same way. I've played like I get Pokemon every year basically, and I stop like 2-3 dungeons in. Finally said no this year. Didn't do it.
Didn't do it.
I'm proud of you,
Didn't do
dude.
Am I true?
I get to
What?
2 or 3 dungeons every single time, and then stop. So I was like, I'm not gonna do it.
I've just been reading Watchmen instead of playing Pokemon.
Fair.
You watched
Recommended.
the newest episode.
Am
So
I
good.
tripping that
So
this is more linear than Sun and Moon? Sun and Moon felt like a little more go this way or this way, right when it started, and like
Sun
this
and
is
Moon is-
very much like
Hyperlinear. I think this is even more linear than Sun and Moon.
it just
Really?
Yeah, I think the wild area gives you the impression of freedom, but yeah, this becomes super, super linear.
And I
Yeah.
kind of did because you didn't play Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon was very much like, hey, you play Pokemon? We're just hanging out on the beach, man. We're like, back over there, he's he plays a lot of Pokemon. It's great. And this kid's like, Pokemon! Like, it's all that matters! Get to Motostoke! Like, I'm in Motostoke. Go to that town now! Like, okay, God.
It was weird that
Dude,
they
it
were
kind of
like,
makes me want to play it.
they're like, go to this first town for no reason. Now go to this other town and start your shit. I'm like, oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
it's like football, you know? It's
Yeah.
like celebrating,
Yeah.
you know, just the football craze around the world.
Have you played Damiani?
Yes, for a few hours, and I got. I am in the first major town, Motostoke.
Nice.
Tell me your playtime, Damiani.
Yeah, 4 hours.
For the first
You're like
time?
Sophia. She's
Oh,
caught every
nice.
possible
I went to a wild
Pokemon
area.
and is now
Nice.
doing a gym.
Yeah.
I'm like, do the gyms.
Can I get the players of this Pokemon to give me a 1 to 10 ranking of the towns?
Ooh.
I mean, I love the first town, but Motostoke is boring.
Rank those towns.
The towns by design
Yeah.
are maybe they go as high as 8. So they're really nice
Visual.
towns.
They-
by
visually-
design.
Yeah,
Yeah,
visuals.
but
They
like,
look nice.
the best part of a town is that it has personality and things to do in it.
Yeah.
And these simply don't.
Yeah.
These
Like-
are just little gym.
But I would,
Yeah.
I would go
Yeah.
6 though, Huber, because they like are disguised as towns that do a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like I'm constantly like, oh, how do I get to that hat? Oh, okay.
Right.
You know, and like
Yeah.
I know a lot of games do that, but it's just like, man, after Breath of the Wild is ruined.
Are clothing stores new? Did the
No,
previous
there's
game?
No, but there's a lot more
Since
clothing
X
options
and
up
Y,
front.
I think those have been around.
I have yet to
right?
find a
Yeah.
truly cute outfit.
What was your starter? Damiani.
Oh, Sawball, and I nicknamed it Crybaby.
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 After the Johnny Depp film,
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Baby you.
I did Grookey. What did you do?
Score buddy, baby.
You did
Score
You
Bunny.
didn't play. What'd you do?
Grookey.
Yeah. What'd you do, Bossy?
Score Bunny.
Really? You didn't do Sobble?
No.
Yeah, Kyle and I did the
Nice.
same.
If
Starter
Sobble
on
evolved
Sobble.
into a sad creature, I would have stuck with it.
He evolves into cool guy. Yeah.
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 Score Bunny second is kind of a cool guy too.
Scorbunny just looks like a guy in like safari
A
shorts.
Digimon character.
Yeah, you look. Yeah,
Wrong game.
wrong game.
Wrong
Scorbunny.
game.
Game Score Bunny. Mikhail Anyel, hello, Easy Allies. Congrats on working with Roost Sales Network. I think it's an interesting and important move that can help Easy Allies grow as a company.
Wow.
Could you speak a bit more on it? Love and respect.
You're right this question. Is this a real person? Or
Jones is like, they'll never get.
I think that's a good example of Brandon's fine leadership. Can you explain the process more, specifically highlighting Brandon's involvement? But Blood and I and Ian, you know, you've been all over Roost. You were, you know, primarily, you know, responsible for the direct business dealings. But the three of us collaborated on that post that's on Patreon.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm curious. I mean, obviously the two of you can weigh in, but I'm curious on, you know, Kyle and Damiani and these two jokers in the back, just as far as like their angle on it.
Okay.
I
You
think
can weigh in. I would like other people
Oh
to weigh
yeah.
in.
Okay.
I think Ian is easily the most qualified to weigh in.
Yes.
But that's the point. People don't
I'll-
want. People
I'll
want to
weigh
hear
in
all of
after.
the allies. People want to hear how everyone feels about it. How do you feel about it, Kyle?
Sure. I mean, so okay. It's weird to
You're the
start.
producer
with
of the Easy Allies podcast. What do you think about it? You're gonna have a bunch of new crazy sponsors on your podcast.
Yeah, I've been like very passive on it. I've been like, you know, that like the business keepings of Easy Allies is my least favorite aspect. And so that we have anyone who's willing to take initiative on it, like Ian was with this, is such a boon. That it's just like, Ian, trusting you, take the wheel. And then Ian's like, I got this, which has been really nice.
And then I was there to like argue against every single thing that Ian brought to the table.
There was
The
a period
whole
of
way
that.
through.
There was a period
Blood
of
was
that,
yeah
for
devil's
sure.
advocate real hard for about four
But there's
months.
you see those little notes like in Google Docs. It's like I'm just that right there. I love that. That makes me feel better. You know, knowing that like that Blood is examining this more than I am. You know, Blood is more cautious about these things than I am.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for anyone
Feels
watching,
like he's got my back.
for anyone watching, just before you guys weigh in, for anyone watching who is curious about maybe missed
Right.
the Patreon post, what we're talking about, we've partnered with Roost to have them basically handle our ad sales and our sponsorships. What that means for pretty much everyone is nothing will change. Basically, we're not going to try to handle sponsorships ourselves in Patreon because it's kind of a weird way to do it. Like a monthly thing with like trying to get ViewSonic to open a Patreon account, and then it's just weird. It's not the way that it's usually done. And they're a company that's been doing this for a long time, and they're just set up to do it. And none of us particularly enjoy doing that. And so they're just going to handle that for us, and it's going to be really nice. It'll probably take a little while, like a few months, a few months, to really like get into it. Like maybe there'll be an ad-free podcast
For everybody,
or
yeah.
two, like next month. Who knows? But yeah, like most people won't notice a difference. We will have ad-free versions on Patreon, which is a change. Like it's kind of a post-back-end hassle for Jones, like cutting the podcast. He has to make 2 versions now, but it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. And
I'll think up my own sponsors for December.
hey, I've got a pitch.
Yeah.
I've got a great company, Salmon Globe. But yeah, it's just a step that we need to take eventually, and it's So that's what we're talking about. If you didn't know already.
Pretty much what Bosman was saying. I just don't know this kind of stuff, and if like Ian is gung-ho about it, like I trust all you guys with my life. So if all of you are saying like, yo, this is right, this is good, like I just trust you guys to make the right decision. And it's always great, like Bloodworth, you were saying, just how you were coming in with counterpoints. It's always great when I don't really know about it to see that conversation and see you guys like talking about it. Because my only concern was being like weirdly corporate, or like going that corporate route or something, and it's like no, it's not that at all. So
well, and sorry, Brad, what are you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I don't think most of us are that great with business, and when Ian like put in the work and did everything for us, it all sounded pretty good. I think it's a good idea for us as a business to grow. I think we always need to grow. And having Bloodworth just checking everything was
checks.
Because my biggest fear is like, corporate. I was like, I don't want them to tell us like what we can and can't do, kind of thing like that. But then after Bloodworth was like,
which is
going, no.
I was like, contracts in this Easy Allies thing.
We have contracts with each other when we formed the company, and that's been like it. Pretty much. But I mean that's an important point, and like I am hugely having worked for like evil startups and like having we were all owned by Defy.
Got the best boss stories.
Oh my god, that guy's a nightmare person. But like having been owned by Defy, like ain't none of us trust like the corporate mentality. Like none of us are corporate people, and we don't like that necessarily. And like so it's important to state that Roost has no creative input. We tell them no on stuff, not the other way around. Like they have no input on us.
Because they get it.
They're not owning us. It's
there
just
are other clients, the other people that they're that are using Roost. This same exact story. People are just like, I make a podcast. And they're like, we got this. Don't worry about it.
And like he came to me with a couple of like a couple of companies already, and I was like, it's not really a fit for us. And our patrons were like, no erectile dysfunction ads, and we were like, okay, we'll do our best. Because I had already said hymns was probably fine because I know they're not like controversial or whatever. But then they were like, well, we don't, and I was like, oh, okay, if you guys don't want that.
Well, it's crazy to think about ads because I watch so many like movies and series that the ads are cut out, and so it's like I feel bad because like my wife's in commercials, and I'm like I never see them because like, I don't watch sports.
See them on sports sometimes, Jones.
Like somebody saw her in a movie theater. I was like, oh, okay, so it's just weird for me to like what do people sell? Like what are the big commercials out there?
Right, but I think
to avoid potentially.
But again, like with that list of potential advertisers that we went through and said check yes or no on, like it's great that like a lot of this stuff has already been vetted. Because we do get a lot of just like cold call emails to the Easy Allies account from companies wanting to partner with us or sponsor with us, but they're like so often like weird small companies that nobody's ever heard of and like have broken English, and you're just like, are you for real?
Is
this legit?
Like,
and like so many times we're like the times that like, okay, this seems like it might actually be a good thing, and then I'll write them back and I tell them how to do what we do and how we want to do the sponsorship, and then nothing. Or that's too expensive for us or whatever. It's like and so it's great to have somebody that's like, they're going to handle all of it. They're going to handle it months in advance. And so there's not, if there's a gap, it won't be a problem towards like, we're not getting that money this month because the gap is so far in advance that, we'll have it taken care of.
And like the Patreon would swing wildly at the end of every month because like if a sponsor hadn't paid, it would go down by $500 or whatever of 2 sponsors, and it would make people who are watching that number really closely like not freak out, but nervous because they were like, oh no, is something wrong? Like, did a bunch of money just go away? And it was like, well, no, not really. It's just a credit card decline, and we just had to email them, and then it got fixed and whatever. And now, like, that's just not going to be a factor.
And if we were really doing our jobs, we should have upped that tier to like 600 or
Yeah.
frame traps
Well,
should
but
have
that
gone
was
up
the
to
thing,
300.
too.
Like those things should get better as we grow, as our podcasts get more viewership, more traction, as our
But
company
that was
gets
one of those
older.
difficult things too, where it's like, whenever you'd bring that up, I would do the math and I'm like, okay, well, this might work, but we'd have to like keep this many people around to even just like break even
Right.
at a higher rate. So yeah, just like again, somebody that can figure that stuff out.
All that happens organically. All happens on the back end. You
Yeah.
guys just get fun podcasts and
like,
we read some ads and then get back to talk about games.
it'll be 3. I think we're going to start with 3 ads, which are probably about a minute a piece. So, like, on average, I think podcast halftime will end up being the same length. So, like,
Yeah.
the impact will be really light. It's just, you will have heard of, it'll be Casper or whatever, like, or
Oh,
whoever.
yeah, but
I don't
you've-
even know. Like,
Casper the Ghost.
You haven't heard me read that stuff.
yeah.
You haven't heard Jones do it.
You haven't heard Jones. Well, and that's part of what I like about Roost, too. And, like, I met with them a bunch of times, and, like, they're all really chill guys, but they're in the market of doing this kind of thing where their clients understand that, like, Jones reading the ad for this audience is the best thing for this audience, and, like, so their advertisers that they're hiring or like, partnering with whatever aren't going to be, like, super weird about, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm looking forward to the Cover Jones comment. Jones, that Squarespace read.
Blue Apron Jones?
I was moved.
Do you get compliments in Cover Jones?
Rare. Not,
All just
not
compliment.
enough.
Yeah, I get the impression it's not
It's gonna be
compliments.
a flood coming in now.
Yeah, please
Flood
compliment
of
Jones.
comments.
He's coming apart at the seams.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight. Greetings, allies. I don't think Jones gets complimented enough. After Yakuza 7, the next Yakuza game allows a player creator. What is the design of your character's Yakuza back tattoo? Note the character's creator is very advanced, so let your imagination run wild. Congrats on the wedding, Ben, and I hope all the allies enjoy a nice upcoming holiday. Love and respect the Dark Knight. Love all the holiday wishes. Thank you. The back tattoo.
I'm putting a sloth on my back.
Yes,
Nice.
dude.
Love the
Yes.
sloth.
The sloth.
I'm trying to think if anyone in Yakuza 0 through 7 has a bear tattoo. Because you don't want to have a duplicate of someone else's.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't. You have to have an original.
Bear.
Yeah.
So that one guy got dragon and no one else could do it?
There's lots of people with dragons.
There's there's
J'accuse.
rival. They're rivals. They're rivals.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, yeah. But I would want.
They're trying to be the only one.
Yeah. I would want the original.
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
Mine is Milo meditating. It's just a giant head.
Oh.
Nice.
I would do a Cerberus.
Whoa.
Because he's really cool, and I think that'd be cool.
Cerberus?
That'd be cool in a Yakuza game. Just like 3-headed.
I'm thinking like a naked woman with a gun for a face.
That's so you, dude.
With a gun.
Not a gun for a head, a gun for a face.
gun for a
so
face.
a human head with like hair, but the gun is coming out of the face.
I guess she's got hair, yeah.
Like MDK.
Think about it, yeah.
Like MDK wearing a wig.
Okay.
All right.
I guess, yeah.
Oh wow. I'll go with Great Horned Owl.
Nice.
Whoa.
Good pick.
Huh.
Baby Yoda.
Baby
Baby
Yoda.
Yoda.
Baby
good
Yoda.
pick.
I would
What
do,
is that? Is that from Mandalorian? Is that where
somebody
that
had
No,
that.
it's not from Mandalorian.
No,
No.
it's not.
It's-
Spoilers.
Nope.
I would do a motorcycle.
It's from Clone Wars.
Clone
Clone
Wars.
Wars.
It's
dude.
Clone Wars.
It's Clone Wars.
Episode 606.
Season 1.
Yeah.
Season
Episode
1. Don't worry.
606.
When Yoda was in high school.
I guess I'd do like a
The Clone
motorcycle
Cadets is the name of the episode.
Cool.
with Huber riding it,
Sick.
but with naked women for arms.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, Huber's arms are naked women?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And the wheels of the motorcycle are guns.
It's a cool tattoo.
Cisco Ace Jackson. A few months ago, I started re-listening to all the frame traps, and it led to a question regarding language in early Easy Allies.
Oh.
Now I'm listening to all the Easy Allies podcasts and have gotten through 60 episodes. As a congrats to Kyle for finishing Box Peak, almost. Let's give him some love and respect. Lovingly say your favorite Kyle bit from Easy A, and respectively tell him one that you didn't like. Kyle knows when his bits are dumb, lol. I love the Ore Wars intro more than almost anything, and laugh every time, but the Shrek bit still grinds my gears all these years later.
I don't remember. There's too many.
There's a lot.
I
There's a
can't
lot.
keep track, dude.
I love 9.5 out of 10 Kyle bits, but if I'm gonna be brutally honest, I don't like the Dark
Prince of
I
Nerds.
don't like it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like it.
I do hate that.
It's not
You're right.
funny. It's not awkward. It's just nothing. I don't like it. It's nothing. I don't like it.
The first time we did it, I was like, "Is this a reference?"
It's not.
Someone says
It's not needed. It doesn't
fact that
add
it's just
anything.
nothing. Now it kind of makes me love it.
Yeah,
even
now it
more.
makes me love it even more. Do it again. No, I like it.
It's funny. I remember bits by how angry they made people. Like I don't remember the bit itself. I just remember like what was the bit that people really didn't get? We had to you had to tell me beforehand. Okay, Jones, here's what we're gonna do.
It was the podcast opening bit. I forget what it was the opener. It was the podcast opener.
Right.
And it was por favor. Oh, pro strats only, please.
Oh yeah.
Pro strats only, please. I think was
yeah,
the
and then I would
worst
get angry.
received bit
Yeah,
of all
Absolutely
time.
my favorite because
Yeah.
I was involved.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
funny because sometimes I'm involved
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm not. The corrections music thing, man. The
Yeah.
first time I had no idea that was coming, so then I had to roll with it.
And you
But,
do that now. You roll with it now.
Well,
yeah.
we have the same, the bit's over.
Yeah.
Same corrections music. It was a privilege to be involved in that. bit.
Ore Wars is really good. Glenny's Cauldron has got to be
Yeah.
because it transcended into that game jam. It's just so
Yeah.
incredible.
What was the one you would just sing songs about?
Probably Ore Wars.
That's Ore Wars.
Just like Fallout Boy. I never
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
what was
That's
going
Ore
on.
Wars.
That's
Ore
Ore Wars. Ore
Yeah.
Wars is good. The worst is the Desire Index by far.
Love the Desire Index.
I actually like Desire Index.
Desire Index, dude. Divisive.
Yeah.
Divisive.
Cult classic.
yeah. Yep.
By the way, I wonder if we swore a lot. The way that starts.
Yeah, it
is-
started
Yeah.
and then just
Yeah,
abandoned
yeah,
that
like,
thread.
Yeah.
Took a hard left turn there.
Yeah.
That's
running
the bit.
language in early Easy Allies.
Yeah.
Well,
When
I
we were
watched.
sailors.
I think we dropped more F-bombs.
Dude, I watched watching back at game trailers stuff.
Yeah, that was
Holy
edgy.
crap, we swore all the time. Like, there's literally, and you were technically our boss at the time.
Yeah.
There's a opinion yell where you and Brad are just yelling,
Opinion
"F
yell,
you,
though.
F you."
Opinion yell's the only time I would drop an F-bomb.
Yeah. Mandatory update was real saucy.
Any favorite bits, Blood, before we move on?
Blood used to
I
swear.
was trying to remember them. But yeah,
You got some good tips in there.
I feel like
We'll make-
I feel like there's a
Kyle
new one
too
every
powerful.
there's
day.
an older one that I really liked, and there's one this year that I really didn't like, but I can't remember what.
It's good to forget.
Yeah.
Once you've wiped your brain.
Yeah.
What was the GT show?
GT time.
No. The funny one. The
No,
bit-
that's
just-
funny.
GT.
not funny. Was it not
Yeah.
funny?
We didn't
just
have
the
any
bits,
GT.
right?
Yeah.
It was just bits.
Not
Yeah.
funny GT.
Yeah, not funny GT. I love not funny GT.
That's not a Kyle bit. That was an everybody thing.
Okay.
Mostly Elise.
Mostly Elise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
dude,
prototype
you're
Were there
right.
like what,
Yeah.
like 5 to 7? Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool,
Yeah,
dude.
Those
That was,
hold up.
the game.
my
we
God.
invented, yeah.
Wolf is my
The
favorite.
game I invented?
that was on funny
Or,
GT?
not you, for the
Oh,
show.
Scrumburgers.
Scrumburgers, yeah.
Scrumburgers is a good
Yeah, I love
yeah.
how Dominic was like Kyle's arch nemesis,
Yeah.
and Kyle would always lose.
Scrumburgers.
Cisco, no, sorry. Varun Kachwaha. Me and a colleague have been having a back and forth for the last year about what the purpose of games are. Are you ready? Do
I know
games
the
have
answer
to
to
be
this.
fun? Fun is in replayable, fast-paced, attention-grabbing, etc. Last year, the examples were Red Dead Redemption and Super Smash Bros. This year, it's Death Stranding and Sekiro. Is Super Smash better because it's more fun? My argument is one about immersion and games as an art form. That as long as a game has me gripped, I don't think it has to be fun. That story-based games like Detroit and Life is Strange can be as enjoyable as Smash. His argument is that games like Death Stranding and Life is Strange could easily be films or TV shows, that being a game doesn't add much to the overall game, whilst games like Smash are experiences that can't be replicated by other media forms. What do you guys think about this? Do games have to be fun or something that can't be replicated on TV?
Just has to raise the quality of your life.
Ooh,
Yes.
man.
If you
Entertain.
enjoy it,
Yeah, just,
Yeah,
if you enjoy it, then it's a
Yeah, I just
success.
think that that'd be entertainment.
Even if someone else hates the damn thing, it's perfect for you. That's all games is.
I think
Yeah.
your colleague is just a simple person.
Wow.
This is my favorite Kyle bit.
This is a bit.
It's don't put them in a box. You know, games and movies and books and all entertainment can be so many things. So I try best not to define them, and I just love that they can offer different things depending on different moods and different times in your life. And yeah, like games can be, that's the beauty of video games, is like you can have big dumb fun and hang out and smash and just like instant action fun, or something slow paced, bring the tissues, Death Stranding, you know? So
Yeah.
I just love that.
I would argue, though, you can't do Life is Strange and Death Stranding in a movie. I probably wouldn't be attracted to a Life is Strange movie. You know, like, I'm definitely more curious to play that game. Especially, I have not played Life is Strange 2, but that first one, like, there's no way. There's no way you can...
I mean, I love high school drama movies and shows, so...
Yeah, wouldn't it be like a CW show or something?
It'd just be like...
But think about a scene like,
But
you know,
good. But good.
like stealthing through the swimming pool. Like, what a boring scene that would be. Just gonna be like, okay, yeah, and then they got out, you know, whereas, like, actually being in there and seeing the flashlight, like, oh, crap, you know, like, took that to an emotional level that, you know, no book could, no movie could. Just different, not necessarily, like, a heightened thing, but...
Well, I mean, even if you're gonna go with something that like doesn't have a lot of action or reflexes or whatever, right? Just the idea of you making a choice, like you deciding like what is going to be the right or wrong in this situation, and particularly in games like that where it's like you're not told that, oh, that was the wrong choice. You know, it's like it could have gone quote unquote better, or this could just be like the path that your character's going down.
Yeah, like the video games should be movies thing. It's like, to me, it's movies are always passive and video games are active. You are making the movements. You are making the controls. You are telling the person in the game what to do. So I just think that automatically, like,
You're seeing what's up on that one weird hill.
yeah, like I don't know. Just I don't think any video game should be a movie. Like, video games are video games. All the way through, top to bottom.
Addendum. Movies should make you feel like an active participant, though. Like, in your mind.
Yeah.
You know? Engaged, not,
for sure,
not passive.
but I'm still watching those people.
Right.
I'm not those people, no matter how
Can you
into
imagine,
the movie I am.
Actually, now that I've started this, I can think of like one or two examples of this actually happening. But like, what if you're just watching a TV show and like there's a stealth sequence and the flashlight hits the main character and you just hear like, and then they just start over and it's never explained. They just go to a checkpoint. They failed that mission. This is never explained in a show.
That's a cool idea.
It happens in a Michael Haneke film, sort of.
Damn.
But
He beat us to it.
yeah.
That's funny.
MGS Junkie. Why is one the loneliest? Is it possible for one to be the happiest? Can two be lonely sometimes?
Oh,
Absolutely.
two can definitely be lonely.
Two could totally be
Two
lonely.
can be
Two can be
worse.
lonely.
Yeah, yeah.
Marriage Story, dude. December 4th. Get ready.
I'm not watching that.
Why are you hyping marriage?
It's gonna be the best movie.
Dude, it's
of the year.
getting a lot of movies.
It's gonna be
A
the
lot of
best
hype.
movie.
Really?
It's getting
like-
insane amounts
It's like
of
my
hype.
number one hyped
This is the
movie.
first time I've ever heard of this. What
Is
is
it pure depression?
It's gonna be on Netflix.
Adam Driver,
Scarlett Joe,
and Scarjo-
getting
wait,
divorced.
Scarjo?
Yep. It's gonna be.
They're just getting a divorce, and everyone's like losing their minds about this movie.
I remember
It's
there was
Noah
one.
Baumbach.
There was one Mad About You
Noah Baumbach.
episode
Oh,
that was
that
just
makes
them
sense,
yelling
yeah.
at each other the entire episode. I remember like 70% through it. I'm like, what?
Of what?
Why am I watching this?
Spectrum exclusive. What would you even call it? They're back.
Mad
Mad
About
About
You?
You is back.
Mad About You. I saw that, dude.
For one season
I
on
saw it.
Spectrum.
Yeah.
Are you in for that?
On
I want to
Spectrum?
be
What
in,
is that?
dude.
No, no,
I
no.
want to be in, but I'm not caught up on my Mad About You lore,
know.
dude.
Helen has
Wait,
Yeah.
Helen is back.
12
baby.
eps. She
Wait,
directs the
Kyle,
first
wait.
episode.
Ooh.
Yeah.
on Spectrum. What does
Yeah.
that mean?
I have no idea.
Spectrum TV, dude.
I-
Spectrum
Just
cable.
if you have Spectrum Internet?
Oh, so is that what I need? Is I
You probably need
for
Spectrum cable or
Oh,
internet.
Ah, well.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry,
Mad About You.
Yeah.
Do you have the internet?
Cable.
You could probably log in on their website, dude. You got it.
Yeah, one can be happy. It's really hard. It's really hard
Yeah.
for one to be happy, but yeah, one doesn't have to be the loneliest number.
It varies from person to person.
Yeah.
Very true.
This is like the conflict. I feel guilty like with Amanda because like I love being around my wife. I love her to death. I've known her for 17 years. But like if she's got an errand to run, like you know, like time to play games.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad at all. Yeah.
And like it's funny now because like
natural.
I'm gonna be I'm not in the garage anymore because we like turned that into the guest room in the living room. And so like when I close the door when Amanda leaves, Sophie's like, "Pew!" woo! And like runs to the back of the house. I'm like, no. I know that was a trend for a long time, Sophie, but we don't.
Sophie thinks it's video game time?
Yeah, she's like,
really
and it might
so
be, but
funny.
like, she doesn't. The desk just isn't as exciting for her. She's like, I've been in the living room all day.
Yeah, there's no
We'll
difference
go outside and throw the
now.
ball around, but I just love her, like feeding into my selfish video game time.
That's funny.
Ulf himself. Hello, allies. What has been your favorite group stream or stream multi-person stream in the past year? E3 does not count.
It wouldn't have been E3 anyway.
We all take a big breath of sigh of relief when E3 is over.
Yeah, E3 is a screaming hell.
Smash every time. Best.
Oh,
no matter
Lord.
what, every time. Any stream with Smash is my number
Easy
one.
Living was really fun, dude.
I'm really bummed I missed the game that Until Dawn sequel. I can't remember the name.
And the other one
It was-
played.
Yeah,
the
I
one
guess
before
it
it.
sounded like the game wasn't that great.
What was it?
Until Dawn.
Until then.
That's what it was.
Well, there we did
Oh
one
no, the
with
live
with
action
the
one?
phone.
Yeah.
Erica.
Where
Erica.
Erica was super good.
That one was so.
I think I missed that too.
Pokemon Snap was last year.
Oh my
right?
God,
Yeah.
Because
Snap.
that was
I
so
don't
jolly.
That was
Does it
way
say this
back.
year?
It says
Yeah,
this
it was
10
year.
years ago.
So we're
So
basically talking
in the studio,
studio
Oh,
stream.
dude, the one I did with Yuki, our Shenmue demo playthrough was
Yes.
so fun.
That was magical.
God,
That was
Playing,
really good.
playing Deadly Premonition with Dawn is
Mhm.
is a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, oh boy, that game is hilarious.
I mean, technically, Silver Squad's multi-person, and like the first, I mean, they've all been great, but the first like 4 or 5 episodes was
There's
just like,
a lot of
what's
highs.
going on? It was like, we caught a shiny, we got this, like,
Some of my highest highs, yeah, for
we
sure.
tried to catch a Dunsparce, and then beginning of episode 2, he's like, just try one more time. Like, there it is. Like, what?
Yeah.
Damiani,
I'm
dude,
still not
helping me
convinced
face
you're not
my
coding that
fears
wrong.
and Majora's.
water puzzle.
Water
Stranger
gear,
Things.
a Dungeon Jones that's just like raising waters and turning gears.
Yep.
End of a
like,
stream.
oh.
This dungeon opens the first door, looks in, and goes,
Yeah.
Nope.
Like next time, gotta prepare for a week.
Like time to hard cut. We're done.
Takeshi's Challenge, dude.
Oh
Oh
man,
yeah, that was
Takeshi's
Oh, man.
That bizarro game.
I love Blood Checks the Notes. Yeah, that was super good. And I know it's like, I just miss hunts, like, you know, like I have always wanted the, you know, I'm attracted to the idea of doing the consistent thing. It's just like, it's so bad for my schedule. But I know this game was a train wreck, but like, I loved playing Anthem. That was fun. That was the most fun I ever had
That
with
was
Anthem.
fun,
Just that
John.
first,
That was
it was,
a good-
it was like Destiny.
It was
that was a
launch
good
day,
night.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was a fun night.
That was great.
It was fun. I don't think necessarily it was like the game itself that was fun, but just the discovery of a new game.
Yeah.
You know, us all being
LAN
like,
party.
we have no idea. You know, it's a classic like Cartman line. Like, is this cool or not? I can't tell.
Yeah.
We gotta.
There's
we
always
gotta know
that.
very soon.
There's always that dangerous
The
like
answer is
first day of a game where you're like you haven't learned that you're supposed to hate a thing yet in the culture.
Yeah.
Like, is this good?
So you can just like
Is this
take it as
bad?
it is and be like, this kind of sucks, but I'm having fun, whatever.
Or, I mean, I think in the case of Anthem, it was like, you know, the base level of it was great. It's just like, there was
Then
nothing
there was
built
nothing
upon
else,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
so it was like, 3 hours, great game.
Yeah, yeah.
10 hours, what's going
Yeah, this
on?
is
man?
terrible. Yeah.
Although even in that, like, there's a lot of stuff. Like, why is this happening?
I
Yeah.
got 2 others. One was just recently playing Mario 64 Damiani.
Mhm.
Because that was
Nice.
just like it would suck to drive home right now. Let's just play games for a couple hours. And that's just a really good game.
That was
having,
the day the internet was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having the group play Don't Call Me Mama, but Yes, I'm Your Mama. And having everyone disgusted by what the third weapon does.
Ugh.
It was like the reaction I dream of.
They're just
It's-
mad at you.
Everyone is just disgusted in their own way. And it's really, it was just what you work for. It was really, really nice to see that moment.
I was pleased.
Yeah.
I was very pleased.
But you didn't pick it. You picked the sleep bubbler.
But I was pleased by.
Oh, okay.
Pick the sleep
It
bubble.
didn't
and
speak
forgot.
to me personally.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed its inclusion in the game.
Yeah.
Super 3D Cow. First question ever.
Oh,
What are your
yeah.
thoughts on the tools and engines used for creating video games?
Yeah.
Speaking of, do you think with the ever-growing complexity and details in games that it could be more beneficial to spend extra time enhancing the game engines so that creating such details is easier? Every time I have ever attempted to make something with a game engine or 3D modeling program, I found them to be incredibly unintuitive and frustrating. Thank you. And I love that his name is Super 3D Cow.
Yeah.
So he tried to make that cow one time. Didn't work out. Thanks, bud.
I've tried to learn. I've tried to learn Unity, Unreal Engine, Game Maker 2. The only one I am confident I know how to use is RPG Maker. Yeah, they all need to be more intuitive. All of them.
Yeah, that's
Dreams?
well. That's the thing about Dreams.
Dreams?
Dreams is very intuitive. It's
It is
just
not.
It is not at all
super
intuitive.
deep. I mean, from my perspective, it because the
Show us
point
your
that I
level.
get,
Where's your game?
I haven't made the game because it takes too much time.
He's
It
a
doesn't
baby.
mean-
He's a baby boss.
That doesn't mean it's not intuitive.
I don't know.
Mario Maker 2 is fairly intuitive.
Those are two very different
Yeah.
things. I actually remember I worked for an animation company, and I remember when Maya first came out. Maya's like, I don't know if Maya's still a standard, but I
3D
remember.
modeling, right?
Yeah.
I remember like one of the first times somebody saw something was like saw a demo of the software. This guy like flicked or like hit a table that had an ashtray with a cigar in it, and the ashtray fell off. And the cigar fell out of the ashtray, landed on the floor, and lit the carpet on fire. And he's like, all I did was hit the table, and Maya just took care of everything else. And he's like, this is a golden era for 3D animators because until our bosses figure out how easy everything is now, we can just be like, oh man, okay, I'm gonna have to come in this weekend to do that. And so it was like the people that didn't know how to use the software didn't understand. It was
I
interesting.
think this one person gave you a weird perspective on 3D animation. Yeah, it is not easy.
Right. Well, but that's the thing is like, how much do you want to automate it?
That was
you know,
just the
like
advent of physics.
ultimately, this is kind of like an impossible task, and that's the point where I got with Dreams, where I was like, oh, I see what I have to do, I understand what I have to do. It's just like, man, like when I actually got to like, I want to make this fox, and I want to make it look like a fox. I literally like had the mouth, and it's like I have the tools, I know how to move it, I know how to place it, but I would place it and be like, that looks terrible, and then I'd move it and be like, that looks terrible, and I'd move it again and be like, what's wrong with me? Like I just can't make this look good.
That's weird.
So that's the time thing, not that like the motion controls aren't working, or I don't understand how to resize it or change its
Well,
color or its texture.
The ongoing struggle, I think, for designers of engines and tools like this is like there's a war between making something super intuitive to a beginner and really fast and usable for an expert. And like those two are like opposite things. So like thinking about like things that I know really well, like Premiere or Photoshop or whatever, it's like if they were super dumbed down and accessible, it would make it slower and really irritating to use.
Final Cut 10.
Yeah. And like, yeah, so you have to hide features to not overwhelm.
Yeah.
But that's the opposite of what you want when you're proficient. So it's like they would have to change the UI several times to like match your proficiency or whatever. You know, you'd have to like have a difficulty slider for an app,
Two
which I know
versions.
some apps do. Like you can put Photoshop in Essentials mode, which is basically what I'm talking about. But like, yeah, Unity is like daunting when you launch that little thing, and then you realize you basically need to know coding to get a lot out of it, you know. But like,
Make
yeah.
it an RPG, so when you level up, you gain
Yeah,
abilities
I mean-
and
Right.
stuff.
I mean,
And I know
Some
that's- then
some
you know what
things
Dreams
try
is going
that.
for,
Yeah,
yeah.
some things try that.
Yeah, which path you want to take? Like, hey, I'm liking this, so it unlocks the stuff for you. And when you hit like level cap, you're like, yo.
Well, and not
all
to
the
mention,
features.
like, every person learns differently. Like, I learn the best by, like, doing stuff. So, like, following a video tutorial, I'll only get some of it unless I'm doing it along with it, you know what I mean? Whereas other people can just, like, read about it and know everything, you know? So it's like, you can't be all things to all people. It's so hard. I like, UX designers are, like, it's such a hard job.
That's why I really like Dreams' approach, because I think, you know, you can kind of leap, because ultimately it's not only about how complicated stuff is, it's what you like versus what you don't like.
Yeah.
Whereas like the music stuff I took to immediately, because I was like, oh look, it's an editing software, this is fantastic. And it's actually kind of fun because I can zoom in of the, it's like Premiere, but you can make the timeline like, put your face like
Yeah.
right up against it. And whereas like, oh, like a car was one of the first things, was like, oh, I'd love to make a racing game for Blood, but it's like, I don't want to deal with gears and rotors and change it. So like, I want to steal this car from somebody, and then I'll make that bigger, make the tires bigger, make the interior look different. So I'm skipping over the part I don't want to do to get to another part that I'm going to get better at just by using it.
Yeah.
It's just the going through the, I mean, I haven't played it in a while, but just going through the other people's assets. And there just weren't a lot of assets when I was playing it. It
Yeah.
was just like right at the launch.
That was the problem I ran
But,
into. It was like, I want to do this, but I don't want to sit here and make a thing. Oh,
Yeah.
there's nobody's done it yet. Okay.
But I think they have the right idea. It's just mostly like the search functionality that's
Is-
just
yeah.
not, it's just a big long line. And so you're just kind of like,
I think this question, though, is that 3D modeling in particular, I think, could use software that is easier to pick up.
Blender is free.
I think VR is a huge opportunity. And I think scanning objects is a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, just be able to make a little clay sculpture and scan it in is huge.
They said that when I went to go check out Modern Warfare at Infinity Ward. They were like, there were so many things we just took pictures of and then used that texture, boom, right in the game.
Yeah.
And they were like, I know it seems like, oh, well, you didn't work on that. It's so much easier. It's like a cheat. And they're like, it looks so much better. Like that thing that I just and I'm not talking about like a statue. I'm literally just talking about like concrete that's been smashed.
Right.
You know, like just that texture. Like you can put your own artistic thing on it. I think if you're like Pixar, you kind of want your, you don't want Zootopia to look like anything we've seen. But if you're COD and you're like, no, I want this to be a rubbled street. It's like, go find a rubbled street.
Yeah.
And, like, take a picture.
Well, and like back to your initial point about your animator friend saying like it's so easy now. Like I think what they were referring to is like Maya can simulate physics now.
Yes, physics.
So
especially,
everything that we used to have to do painstakingly by hand, we don't have to waste our time on now. So we can focus on making these things look more lifelike with that time.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the exciting. Like everyone's always like, oh, new graphics, new streaming technology, whatever. But it's like all of that is built on the back of this automation and like things just getting faster so that you can spend time on other stuff. It's exciting. Those are the leaps that we need.
What I like is people. I wish I followed more of these people, but I love people that retweet devs that are working on independent games and they celebrate like the tiniest achievements.
Yeah.
You know, they'll post just like an animation of something, and they're like, "His ears finally move," and you're like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, how long did that take you just to do that?" Somebody made pool in Dreams, like a actual pool table. You like put it up on a touchpad television, and was like, "Look,"
Oh,
and
whoa.
it, like had an actual cue, and like, boop. And Dreams, like actual Media Molecule at Media Molecule was like, "What?"
How did you?
We don't know how you did that. Like, it's crazy.
What?
But yeah, there's actually a good article on GamesIndustry.biz about a week ago from Aaron Flynn, who used to be at BioWare, and it was like about this exact thing because he was talking about Frostbite, and here's one of the quotes. This kind of got my attention to even read this. Even though we had more people, we were slowing down the rate at which we could build these experiences.
Because the engine is so tedious?
Because of how, he compared it kind of to an F1 car, where it's like, it's really, really good if you've got like 30 people to like manage all the things that are going to break.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's...
And if you're doing the thing it was designed to do, which
Right.
they weren't.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, and why GDC is just one mind-blowing experience after the other, because it's like, here's issues we had before we even got into coding stuff, or like that Devil May Cry cutscene.
So, but yeah, so that whole article was, about him focusing on like, for his new team, his new company, like, give them the tools that are going to make them...
We're all gonna have to weigh in on this one. Brad Grenz, if the other allies were all Pokemon, who would you choose as your starter? Kyle Bosman. Well, whoever wants to go first.
Oh, so like
we're
if
drafting
Brandon
easy allies.
is opposed Pokemon?
I'm drafting
We are
Kyle
all
first
Pokemon.
because he would
You
hate it.
cannot pick yourself.
I would draft Kyle immediately just because he would hate it so much.
I would pick you
Nice.
because you're probably my play style.
Nice.
You're score bunny. You know,
yeah.
you're just like, yeah, let's go.
Bruiser.
Yeah.
Let's get in there.
Yeah, you're fighting type for sure.
What type is Kyle?
Psychic?
Poison?
Psychic.
Poison.
Poison type.
Poison.
I like a poison type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you imagine having a poison starter?
That'd be great.
Sure.
Yeah. You'd be at a disadvantage a lot of other things.
I'm picking Dawn.
Ooh.
Dawn would be good.
It's gonna be like a mystery box with that guy.
I'll go
Shadow
Bang.
type.
He changes
Dark
to
type, sorry.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
Ah!
I think I'm also picking Ian. Because I feel like Ian's like got like leveling up down. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Kyle.
Jones is going to be like a level 10 Jones is the same as level 5 Jones.
It's true.
But like
It's true.
Ian's got a lot of
I'd say,
battle
like,
potential.
all of Ian's moves would be like the most diverse and already like super effective against
Yeah,
the
good
most
move set
things.
for sure.
Because Ian's already sniffing out all the Pokemon, just like
All the trainers
Yeah.
would be like, what?
Yeah.
What just happened?
Ian's a Pokemon that has its own Pokédex already.
Hey, are we
Yeah.
online?
That'd be
Good to know.
so funny if we don't even
If
know.
we're
we
just
are.
sitting here
I think we are.
Oh my
without being
It's just
online,
the app is being goofy.
and they missed
Okay.
the nicest thing you guys have ever said about
Oh,
me.
God.
They're laughing so hard right now.
'Cause I've been nervous about it.
Hey, are we
Are
online?
here?
Chad, are you there?
The app is
just
telling
have,
you that
maybe
we're
just have chat up
offline.
on your phone.
Like,
That's the
what?
reason I do like to have chat on. 'Cause
Chad, you
it's
there?
like, we don't know if anything's going
Hello?
on.
Well, I mean,
Hello?
you don't need
Hello?
that.
Is anyone in there?
Streaming into the void.
It's just a Q&A rehearsal.
I don't know who I would pick.
We're going live after this.
Here, let's do this.
Yeah, Blood, you have a pick?
Oh, yeah, I said I'll go with Ben.
Nice.
Bam.
And
Strong pick. Strong pick for sure.
Oh, stop saying live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I leave it small. You don't see the live logo anymore? We're not live.
Okay.
Nice.
Thanks, Damian.
Damiani's with the solutions.
Cal, I would really pick you though because I'd feel like you would be like a Zelda fairy and you would be like give advice. Like you're the Pokemon.
Zelda fairy.
Like you
Oh,
would
it's like
pop
Yogi.
out
Nice.
of you'd pop out of the Pokeball and be like, go over there. Like, go over there.
But he can't talk. He would just be like, Bosman.
No, I feel like how would be the Pokemon that wanders away from you when she gets fed up with you?
You gotta chase Bossman. Like,
I
He's
would-
that super
alright.
chill guy
I
that
would-
everyone keeps playing the video in the camp where he's just like, he's just walking like
The flower one or
Crow
the...
gunk.
crow.
Yeah, you're thinking of Crow.
This guy's head up high.
Your
Just like-
name would be one word. Your name would be one word. Take a knee.
Take a knee.
Take a knee.
He's like
That's a good
stopping
Pokemon
you
name.
every 5 minutes.
I think I'd
Take
pick
a knee.
Damiani.
I'm naming my next Pokemon. Take a name.
I'd pick Damiani, I think, for the, like, just, like, nitty-gritty, like, skill. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh sure.
And, like, there'd have to be some kind of hitbox thing, too, where it's like hit detection. You cast hit detection, and his evade goes up by, like, 12,000%.
Yes. Yes.
Damiani, hit detection.
Hit detection.
This is a fascinating one. So excited for Kyle to weigh in on this.
Oh.
Liz Castro. This may be a bit out of bounds, but I wonder, do you ever worry about viewers who have followed your work from back in the GT days, thinking of you as like actual friends? As a teacher, especially with certain students, maintaining the boundaries of profession can be challenging because you spend so much time with them. I am not their mother, and I cannot be their friend, and yet I cannot tell them that to their faces. A thing I admire about Bosman is that he is really clear about these boundaries. Thank you for your thoughts. Love and respect. Is
Yeah,
that your,
that
is
is
that your
funny.
solo streams or what?
It is
He
funny.
starts all
when
his
you
solo
put your
streams
foot
with,
down.
I am not your friend.
Well, it's weird because I'm also very open about like how much I appreciate the community. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I feel like we can have this mutual appreciation for each other, but like I also say that like I don't want to talk to you. You know what I mean? Like I think that's where she says like where I draw the line is that like the meetups freak me out. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
just like being in this like one-on-one I can absolutely talk to people, and like E3 it happens. You know what I mean? Like somebody will be like, "Hey, what's up?" and I'll be like, "Hey," and we can have an actual like nice comfy conversation. But I think that's where she's saying where I draw the line clearly is that like you know if we're friends, like it's hard to be friends with me. It's definitely really hard to be friends with me. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I think that it's weird. It's like, and I think you appreciate your students too. You know what I mean? I think that as long as you make that appreciation clear, it makes that line easier to draw. If you make it ambiguous, just like love you guys, you're all my best bros, and it's like that's a little like you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like that could be
YouTuber.
misconstrued.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
yeah.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. I love you. It's like I don't.
Yeah. You get mixed up. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, have a great day. Have a great day. Smash that like. Oh, I'm sorry. It's class. I meant to say I love you all.
I love this persona. I love like going into another realm, another dimension, and there's this super lovable.
Bossman's a makeup
Super-
guru.
yeah. Love you.
Love you.
Well, I always talk about. I'm always
You
fascinated
guys are my
by
everything.
none of us on either end understand how that works. So I will never understand what it's like to follow a Patreon exclusively. You know, like I can watch other podcasts, I can watch other people's work and not know them personally, but I still have a sense of what it's like to do their jobs. Where just observe. It's kind of the same thing with games, like just being like, oh, I'll buy this game for fun. Oh, look, I beat that game for fun. Like I'm kind of out of that. I don't know if I'll ever like return to that, you know, in my life. But at the same time, like I understand that our audience doesn't understand, you know, can't really completely grasp what it's like to be on our end, you know, producing our work. And so I kind of like that duality. I try to express that.
You'll never play a game for fun for the rest of your life.
Not in a like throwaway way, you know, where it's like this has nothing to do with my job at all.
With
my
no
job is
sense of
I work for the
obligation, yeah.
government, you know, and then I come home and I play Destiny 2, and it's just like this release.
Got you.
It's just that every time I'm playing something, I'm like, should I be playing something else because it'll be more pertinent to
You
stuff we're going to be
should-
talking about?
I still sneak in some games for me. I
Oh
think you
sure,
should,
yeah,
too.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
you should sneak
I
those
mean,
in.
I reviewed Cat Quest too. Like nobody asked me to do that, you know. So like,
Okay.
I have a ton, you know. Yeah,
I
I have a
secretly
ton of
hoped,
freedom
yeah.
with this job. It's
Yeah.
just you, whatever job you have to have a certain like. You got to wrap your brain around that.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy the fact that we'll never kind of penetrate that. It's interesting. It's like I think a lot of times about like the role of the creator. To me, it kind of looks like a bow tie, where there's like the point of release, like Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker. J.J. Abrams is on this side right now, and he's like, you know, like before Mandalorian came out, Jon Favreau was like, wait till they see episode 1, the end of episode 1, and then now, like the moment that comes out, it's gone. It's not his anymore. It's now expanding out on the other end, you know. Whereas it takes all of that work from a bunch of people to get to that point, the genesis, like the point, the Big Bang, basically. And both sides of that you cannot penetrate the other side. It's impossible. You just have to kind of guess what it's like. You know, judge reactions about things that you say, but like you will never ever be able to sit in that seat and watch it for the first time.
I want to add a question on top of this question to Michael Huber, who for a time followed back everyone on Twitter who would follow you.
Yeah,
And like, isn't that just like too much?
Respect.
it became too much.
Yeah.
So you don't do it anymore.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now you're like following like 1,000 people.
Like more than that, probably. I feel like.
So like that feed, dude, that Twitter feed, I can't imagine it.
Yeah.
Do you look at your
good.
Twitter feed? I only
Me?
look at mentions.
Oh yeah, I look at Twitter feed.
I don't use
Yeah.
Twitter as Twitter.
Like for
Twitter all
instance,
the time.
I wouldn't know about Baby Yoda without a Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's just blowing up. I have so
same
many
here.
Star Wars words muted, and like Baby Yoda's still.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
missed,
Yeah.
missed that one.
You can't do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some-
it's
some-
coming.
yeah. Some
It's funny, I
spoilers are like
Unavoidable.
Yeah,
unavoidable.
exactly. Yeah.
I don't use the internet as like the internet, I guess.
Well, I
I'm
definitely
not
don't
like
use.
interested in anything.
I don't use YouTube at all the way it's
Yeah.
supposedly meant to be used. You know, like all the stuff that we do in terms of like tagging and hashtag. Like hashtagging is the most bizarre thing to me. It's like, okay, I have to put hashtags into this. Like who
You don't have to.
I
who
put him
clicks
as
on these?
I put him as like a joke.
Who
every now and
actually
then.
clicks?
Yeah.
No, it's so you
What do
can
you mean
so,
for,
like
like,
like if you're watching like a
like,
show on
searching
TV,
for
like The
something?
Walking Dead
Yeah.
or something. Say you watch Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I've never clicked.
You
on
just
a
search
hashtag.
that hashtag and then you just see what everyone is saying about it currently
That can
watching
be
it.
exciting, especially
is.
for sports.
It's really fun.
I
Yeah.
click on the trending.
Hashtag
Oh,
Twitter.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say that.
it's good.
Those are all
Then you
just,
see
like,
all the
recommended
fans and
algorithm.
everyone,
Yeah,
like-
Matters,
it's
yeah.
for the recommended
Yeah.
algorithm. Well, and the weird thing also with our job and any job like ours, like we're live right now answering questions, and
Yeah,
it's like,
alive.
yep, we're still live,
Still live.
and like it's a weird give and take with us. I mean, speaking just from our experience, is like you give up a certain degree of privacy in exchange for getting to do what we get to do, which leads to a form of intimacy with people you've never met before, because there is a little bit of reciprocity, especially with Twitter, where it's like I'm vulnerable in a certain sense, so then people can be vulnerable in that way back towards me or whatever. But like there's still a level of intimacy that no one will ever see from us publicly, you know? And I think it's easy sometimes to like lose sight of that. And so yeah, it gets not scary, but like it can be. There have been a few situations where it's like, hey, I appreciate this, but it's like, we've not met. you know, it's just like we've got to draw a little bit of a line for that.
And then how do you draw that line?
I mean, I just say that I just tell the truth. It's just like, oh, I'm not. That's not something I'm gonna do, but
Okay.
whatever.
Cool.
But like, yeah.
I wonder if it's gotten better or worse, because I imagine in like the 70s there were like Midwestern moms who like thought Days of Our Lives was real. Like really thought it. Like actually believed that. There were people like watch wrestling that were like,
Ooh.
no, this is.
Wrestling, maybe.
Oh, name names.
I just, I wonder if just with how prolific just media is now, I wonder if like,
But I mean,
are
this
kids
is-
more predisposed to believe
this
things
is
that
real
are
life,
real,
though.
or I wonder.
This is real though.
It is,
That's what
but
Ian's saying. It's like,
We're
that's what
doing
makes
this
so
right
much more
now.
fun.
Right, so I wonder because
A
of
bit.
because of this stuff, is
Yeah.
it getting worse or is it getting better? I wonder.
Yeah,
Is
It's-
is it easier,
I have
to
no
kind of fall for
boundaries.
somebody that?
that's not true. You have boundaries.
You have boundaries.
You have
Yeah,
boundaries.
especially lately, dude. The last
You have
like
a lot of boundaries.
the last like 6 months, I've like retreated from the public. Like
Yeah.
I don't like going out. I just like don't like looking at people.
Yeah.
So
This really shifted. This
Yeah.
went from
Yeah.
I have no boundaries to I don't like looking
yeah.
at people.
Just lately though, I'm coming out of it.
Oh,
coming
dude.
out of it. Positive.
It's valid. It's
Positive.
okay.
Yeah.
I love looking at people
like-
too much.
But the positive too is like there are different boundaries. Like I'm way closer with Twitch chat than Twitter chat, obviously, because it's live. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
you right there are right there. I'm talking to you right now. There's
We're sharing this moment together.
we're sharing
I get
this
that.
moment together.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
you.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So like that is. Like that's when I say I have no boundaries because I'm like, dude, we're friends, we're family, I love you.
Yeah, I get
Well,
that.
it's funny because it's like a long distance relationship, right? Where like there are lots of names that I recognize because many people have been with us since the beginning, or even in GT, and it's like I have my idea of this person in my mind, and many of them I've met at meetups, and then you can solidify it. But like we're an idealized version of ourselves, probably in some extent, and then it goes back to like chat. People in chat are like idealized versions of themselves, or like our idea of what that person is from the things that they say in chat, you know? So we're all just like fictions to each other.
Oh, sure.
Even though we're doing this live and it's real, it's
all
fascinating.
storytelling,
It's
in a way.
fascinating.
It's funny when like a person will collapse into the same person when they were two different people. I had one, I can't remember who it was, but I had somebody at the meetup where, and I don't want to say specifically, but like where I knew that person online, of course. I recognized that name. They're regular on Cup of Jones. I talk to them all the time on Twitter. And then at the meetup, just a nice person came up to me. We had a wonderful conversation for 20 minutes. And then later they were like, pictures at the meetup. And I was like, like, I
Right.
didn't know you were you.
That
Yeah.
happened
You
when
know,
I went
like,
to-
That's
Ah.
happened to me several times.
We
where
would
I'm
have
like,
had
why
a
didn't you
completely
tell me that was
different conversation
you?
if I had known, because they probably told me their real name. And I was
Right.
like, no, you're...
Right, when we learned that Sean was a Toshigami, that blew my mind, dude.
Crazy.
Why would you tell them that?
I'm sorry.
Sean Layden.
Sean Layden.
Yeah.
Why would you spoil that?
Wait, that's the bit, right? We don't know. Who
As
Toshi
Bo
is.
Zapruder, good afternoon, allies. Congratulations on making it through your unexpected vacation to Silent Hill last month.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately,
Wait, what?
something
It's
similar.
from the last Q&A.
Oh, right.
We were at the diner. I think you were.
Yeah.
serving
I
me
remember
at the
now.
diner.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
I was like, you guys
something
went
similar
without me?
happened to an esports team from Cincinnati. Technically,
Okay.
there were survivors, but the end result is that we're going out of business. No hard feelings. They were just kids after all. Anyway, for your final video game vacation, I'm pleased to announce that A, you will be taking this trip with any and all of your loved ones. B, this trip will occur during the holidays. And C, you will be going to any location of your choice in any game of your choice. Cheers, and I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Time out. Why did an esports team have to get injured
Dude, I don't know.
for us to just go on any trip?
I don't know, man.
Don't question it. They
Yeah.
bought our
I
freedom
think
with their
we should
blood.
move on from that one. Asbo.
Yeah, we're
So they
taking
said
up-
going
people
alone
chat.
wherever we want.
No, we're going with anyone we want. Any friends and family.
Taking this trip with any
So
and all of
going
your loved
alone.
ones.
Oh, I got it.
Everyone.
Fine.
That occurred during the holidays.
Yes, I got it.
to where?
Any video
That's
game
the way I
area.
figure out.
Any
Any
spot in
video
any
game.
The thing you
Spot.
think this question is every time
Okay.
Yeah.
is finally happening.
Any video game spot.
Delfino Plaza.
Wow.
Yes.
Great.
Good opener. Setting the tone.
Hard to beat. Hard to beat.
Delfino Plaza.
I'm going to Traverse Town, dude.
Nice.
Max jolly vibes.
I'll go to the Galar region because it's not that hard to be Pokemon champion. So I get to be Pokemon champion. Yeah.
You can accidentally become
trying to
Pokemon
think of
champion if
where,
that game
like,
doesn't get any harder.
Trying to think of like a spirit realm.
I'll go to Galar for sure.
Spirit Realm.
That's
Ride my
right.
bike around the wild area. That'd be great.
Twilight Realm.
Breath of the Wild, the town you make.
Terrytown.
Terrytown.
Terrytown,
would be pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
The town you make.
Although, I don't know, would that be a fun place to live? I don't know.
Man,
Night
that's-
City, man.
Blood's going to Novigrad.
You know where Blood's going.
Skellige.
He's going
Skellige.
Dude, I'll go into
We're
Skellige.
all going to Skellige.
Hell yeah.
Skellige's
I'm going to Skellige, dude.
That's the
Get
thing. A
mauled
lot of
by-
my favorite like
get mauled
medieval
by a
stories.
bear.
Turning
the world is
into
terrible.
a
Yeah.
bear, dude.
Westeros is like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I'm going to Skellige. Turning into a bear.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, Jones, I'm surprised you
Twilight
didn't
Town.
say, like, Animal Crossing Town or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of chill, you know. It's like that's what's fun about Animal Crossing is you get that little dose,
Yeah.
you know. I don't know if I could
I'm trying to think if
Taking a
there's...
vacation. Though,
Spend
at least.
like an entire every hour of every day for like a week
Yeah.
in like an Animal Crossing town. I don't know.
The little island resort in Hitman a couple weeks ago.
That was nice. That was
nice
very
looking.
nice.
As long as no one comes up
Yeah,
and rocks
I
it.
was saying.
Yeah, as long as 47's not there.
No, it's like what? Erase your
I
identity.
mean, it was peopled almost entirely by criminals.
Right.
Jones, you can go to Figaro Castle.
It's true.
Just cruise around on that thing.
What if Jones is the
I hate
only
sand though. It
3D
gets
person?
everywhere.
Course.
Yeah, you can
Gets
go to
everywhere. I want to go somewhere that's like Cowboy Bebop, but video games where the whole universe isn't threatened. I was like, maybe Mass Effect. And I was like, well, that's too tremulous.
And like, I'm sure every city in Red Dead smells
Oh
terrible.
my god,
Terrible.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Valentine.
Walk around with a
looks
bunch
stinky.
of oranges
And a
by your nose.
stray bullet could come your way
You know
what I'm saying?
any moment.
Anytime. Future for sure, though. Night City would be kind of nuts, but who knows?
Is there a good like spirit place in Final Fantasy?
A good spirit place?
Yeah, where like dead souls
I
can
mean,
go.
there's Final Fantasy 10.
It's 10, dude. I keep thinking of 10. I'm going to
The
that place
far
in
plane?
10. Yep, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
Going there.
Okay.
Midgar.
Oh, that's right. Kicked it off. KY79. Hello, allies. What would your dream game in your favorite franchise look like? It doesn't have to be particularly realistic, but maybe it could feasibly happen if all the stars align, whether it be 10 to 20 years from now. This gen has showed us that nothing is truly possible after all. I need the MMO SSX all in one, all in one mountain, where you can get off your board and you can walk around. So if you like go by a place and like ride off something and everyone is in there like like cheering or drinking hot.
So the
Dude,
promise of
those are all players,
Steep.
man.
So, Jones, I could go to a forest.
Steep is very much not that.
You
There's
want the
nobody
promise
Steep.
of Steve.
I can
Steep
encounter-
is just snow and rocks
I
and
can
trees.
encounter a bear, but then hop on my board and like race
Yes.
away from. Okay.
Yep.
Or fight him with your
Jones, the
board.
number one thing we bond on is SSX coming back.
Yeah.
I had no idea this is what you want SSX.
This is your
Maybe.
nightmare.
This
boss.
abomination.
MMO.
Abomination of SSX.
I mean, it doesn't have to be online though. You can queue up for a race and warp straight there. You can snowboard there if you want. You can play it by yourself. You can mod it however you want to play it.
I don't know, man.
Massively multiplayer.
You can play it
offline.
like Tricky. You could basically play the same game as Tricky, but it's the classic. If you see that thing, you can go to it.
But the whole appeal of SSX is I'm like these are wild tracks all over the place. You couldn't possibly.
This is
I gotta
Tony
say,
Hawk
I
with
gotta
snowboarding.
compromise.
Okay.
You gotta use Death Stranding's type of multiplayer where people are continuously building you new tricks and ramps and stuff, and you can rate if you like it or not. And so, like, you get a more complicated.
That's not a compromise.
Yeah,
That's
it
not
is.
a compromise.
Yeah, it is. It's
Because then you're playing
stuff.
alone.
Like you like
Stranding
tracks and
game.
tricks.
That's just more weird ideas for Jones's thing.
Yeah, but you can downvote everything you didn't like, Kyle. So on your mountain, it would just be like the tracks you like. Whereas Jones could have his own version of it. So you each have different mountains.
Okay.
You can get in cars and stuff. Like I want just literally anything you can
Cars?
do.
Why can you get in cars in an SSX game?
Because
Like
there's roads in
like
SSX. Like,
sleds?
you jump over roads
Like
and stuff.
snowmobiles?
So if you want, you
What?
can drive around.
Is there a story?
No,
Okay,
So
good.
wait,
there are characters.
You're
Okay,
making
Jones?
me so mad.
Wait,
You're making me so
Jones, I
mad.
will buy in right now if you give me one last thing. Can there be a snow tornado?
Yes, of course.
Yes,
Okay.
no NATO.
It's like SimCity, man.
Yes.
Yeah, there's earthquakes. There's
Snowboard down, trying to outrun a snow tornado.
Yes.
And we're
Why no
dead.
story? Why no story?
when there's never
I
been
need a story for
in
the
an
snow
SSX game.
tornado.
What are you talking about?
There's a little bit of like you have to assemble the story
Like
yourself.
do it like a
That's
like
what
a
I'm
Need
saying.
for Speed, Fast and the
There are
Furious
characters. There's
vibe.
relationships. There's rivals.
Do it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you play like a ski
It's that
instructor.
out
Or it's
cold
like
movie.
it's like Blue Crush, but on the mountain instead of the ocean.
It's out cold.
Like the DJ
Straight
that's
up.
talking.
It's that
Blue
episode
Crush. I
of
gotta hit the mountain.
It's Always Sunny.
I gotta
The
get a
that's always
sponsor.
going. You know, like you can go to that building and walk in that room, and there's the DJ. He's animated, saying all the things that he's animated. The world exists. It's all happening.
Can
The
you
world
buy a
is
cup of
facade.
hot cocoa?
What's up?
Yeah,
Can you buy a
make
cup of hot
restaurants.
cocoa in the chalet
Yes.
I want this too, actually.
and get a
Yes.
stat
I
boost?
want restaurants and like restaurant manager
Yes.
and
Stat
stuff.
boosts
Yeah.
with food. Yes.
Stat
Yes, there you
Stat
go.
boost.
And
you
can
can have
you
like
go-
a thermos, so you can just take your board off and just sit on the cliff.
Jones, this is important.
Sit in your
In the chalet, can you go and play arcade games
Yes.
of actual arcade games like Shenmue though?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want it so when you do
Shenmue, the
cooler
arcade
tricks,
game.
No, I mean like
I
in
know.
Shenmue.
the cooler tricks you do and the cooler you look, your popularity goes up. So you get like the better like apartment or whatever where you're staying in the hotel room.
Oh yeah,
And so
player
like, the more
housing.
popular you get like the penthouse and stuff, and like, yeah. I want a popularity meter.
The better
of
you
how
are and the
cool
richer you are, you get closer to the resort too. Like
Yes.
so, at the end of it, you can snowboard right out of
I
your
want it-
house
Yes,
onto the
yes.
hills. Whereas at the beginning of the game, you have to drive for 45
Yes,
minutes,
you gotta sit in
real
the cafe.
time.
And when
to
when
get
you're
to
max
the
popular,
resort.
like all the instructors love you and stuff. They'll like hang out with you, and then like they make fun of everyone else, and like you're the cool guy.
And you can like spectate races too. So like when a snowboarder goes by, it takes like 20 minutes for the next one to go by. But you're just sitting there the whole time.
You have
Are we
like,
all supposed to
wait,
do one, or is
wait,
this our
wait,
thing?
We were.
this
in
became
real
the-
time, you have to go up the
Taking it
ski
over.
lift.
Yeah.
You have to wait on the ski lift in real time.
Man, I had a great idea.
You can actually push people.
I just
up
want a
like
really
fighting
sick game where you drive a stake through a vampire's heart. We don't have it. I want to
Put
do
it in
it.
SSX.
I want to drive a freaking stake through a vamp's heart.
New Castlevania.
Make it happen.
How about
Masquerade 2?
how about
Masquerade 2. Let's make it. Yeah, we need it.
how about we get one at alt control GDC where it's just like there's just a controller where you just
Yeah, it's VR, dude. Hold a cross up to him.
Yeah,
dude.
dude. Yes.
I think Jones.
Give me that vampire fantasy,
Dude.
I'm
dude.
liking all these games.
The one I was gonna do is, I think you'll like this. Is it's Castlevania, in the style of Symphony of the Night. You're playing as Alucard or whoever, but you have multiple weapons, and the game starts as a game that size. It's pixel art, but then monthly, the castle, maybe you could mutate the whole castle, but also it adds another wing every month. So they have like planned out new additions. So there's a new addition, like a big level every month. Then in the same.
So what do you want it to
Symphony of the
start
Night.
small though?
No, it starts as big as Symphony of the Night because
Oh.
like the first 3 months nothing comes out maybe,
Sure.
and then free DLC every
I
month.
can't wait for them to run out of ideas for sections.
They never will.
Never
It's
will.
a dream.
This is our dream, yeah.
It's our dream.
And you can invert every new section.
Yeah.
Diagonal.
The
Diagonals.
the pantry.
Constantly rotating.
Don't say unless you have an idea.
I've got an idea. Come on, Kyle.
Yeah, shut up, Kyle.
That's your idea, Kyle.
This is a bit.
He said and then 3 seconds of silence.
He's building
You should
anticipation.
know is the start of a
alright,
bump.
alright.
Trust me, you should know
What
is
is
the
my
start of a
secret
bump.
now?
Yeah.
Alright,
You gotta
here
do the bit.
How many questions have we gotten through?
We're
10.
good. We'll get through it. Done more than
Brad's like 10.
We're still alive.
I want Metroid game that's got kind of some Mass Effect vibes going.
Like like interacting with other characters and stuff, like having a
Like
party,
corruption.
Not really necessarily like all of that, but just
flying to like a space station or something.
but like I feel like female Shepherd is more of like the Samus Aran I grew up with than more recent Samus.
I mean,
You know?
that was Wii. That's like the most recent Samus we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just like going to like full new worlds and having the ship be more of a thing. You know, like they did
Like a
some of
crew?
that in 3, but it was all kind of smallish.
Yeah.
So
Can you take the ship and then snowboard? Go snowboarding?
Yes. Dude,
Okay.
I want an MMO set in the Zelda universe. Where you could be like all the races, be the Goron dude, be Garuda, Zora.
But with
So
actual
sick.
gameplay?
Yeah.
Nice.
But I also need to see like a full size like 3D version of Kraid or something along that line.
Yeah.
Just something just gigantic.
Huge. Yeah, huge.
3D Kraid.
Why aren't you breaking his balls about the Zelda MMO? I said it's a sex MMO. You flipped out. He's
Brad's
like,
idea is actually good.
There could
But
be
there's other people all messing
Jones?
up your game. You're playing a
Jones?
Zelda game where there's other people.
Brandon, you can have your snowboarding MMO inside of his Zelda MMO.
Yeah, dude.
Because
You
his
can
snowman-
sled, bro.
There you go.
On shields. You're
It's-
snowboarding on shields.
There you go.
It's not too out of
I'll
place.
take it.
There you
I'll
go.
take it. I'll take it.
We can make a new like snow race too for it.
Mine is my dream game is your game except I get to write the story. We're done.
Okay,
Like,
good,
yeah.
good. Story by Kyle.
It'll end
Yes.
bad in Kyle's game.
Yeah, it'll be so sad.
You'll end up like
No, it'll
in the
tease toward
hospital
the
bed.
sequel. It'll tease toward the
It'll
sequel.
end with the
where he
That'll
plays
still
it,
come out.
where he plays a
Destroys the
different
whole-
character
Yeah,
because the other
yeah.
one died.
Yeah.
When we played through SSX, it ended with Kaori, like, she was on the phone with the devil, where, like, she got her body back, but the only way to keep her body back is she had to listen to the devil on the cell phone. at
Dude,
all
this is
times
like
of
some
day.
Twisted Metal stuff.
It was
I don't
really
remember
cool.
this.
Yeah, it's
What
like
are you
Twisted
talking
Metal
about?
Stuff, dude.
Oh,
I remember
now I want
SSX
Twisted
having a
Metal.
story.
Is it where SSX again?
SSX, yep.
I see.
I forgot, Kyle.
Yeah.
What's it gonna be?
I don't remember. Snow Mountain, yes. I'll go with your version.
Oh, great.
Welcome to the mountain. Welcome to the mountain.
Welcome
dude.
to the mountain.
Mountain, dude.
SSX, welcome to the mountain. exclusively on PlayStation 5. Jesse
Yeah.
Blue. Hi, allies. Thanksgiving in America has always been about food, especially growing up in the Midwest. I always looked forward to eggnog and pumpkin pie with lots of whipped cream, but my recent lactose intolerance has taken these items off my Thanksgiving menu.
Nice.
Are there any flavors or foods you used to enjoy but either ate too much of, can't get anymore, no longer, or just can't get anymore, no longer enjoy, or simply can't eat anymore?
I got a good one.
I'd like to hear if there are any stories behind this. I guess misery loves company. Anyways, hope your holidays are wonderful. Love and respect, Jesse Blue.
Got a good one that's going to shock a lot of people. But I went through, I'm back on now a little bit in small doses, but I took like 6 years off from In-N-Out. Had it way too many times on every family vacation, on every road trip, like up north or anywhere in California, driving on the roads. It's like In-N-Out, In-N-Out. Had to go cold turkey. The smell of it like made me
Yeah.
But I'm like finally breaking back into.
I haven't had
In-N-Out.
Fatburger in more than a year, probably.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
Just gets too much.
I'm like this with candy, like seasonal candy too, and like we just got through October. Mellow cream pumpkins are not there yet. I just eat like way too many of those. But Cadbury cream eggs, like I down like 8 in a row, and like I'll have like half of one now. And I'm like,
No.
Cadbury.
Hey, same thing with Disneyland. I was there Sunday, and like when I would
Once a
leave
year, it's
Disneyland,
fine.
I would get cherry sours every single time. Like I would just get that
every
bag,
time.
and now I'm like, I'm good.
You
I'll
ever
get a little
get the
coffee for
honeycomb?
the road, and I'm fine.
Proud
Do you ever get the honeycomb? Next time you're there, pick me up a bag. I'll pay you. Double.
Ooh.
Jones, it's literally
I'll
my
make it
like.
worth your while.
Jones, it's in my top 3 sweets of all time.
I got bad news for you, Huber. My pass lapses next month. And
Are you out?
I'm out.
What?
Dude, I
Because
paid
like,
for
when
it
am I
all
going
year.
back? I'm going back for
I stopped.
Rise of the
never
Resistance.
went.
Unprecedented.
But then next time I'm going
Is this
back
the
after
first time
Rise,
you've ever been off a pass?
It lapsed one time for like 3 months because I just didn't realize it, and I was like, oh, whoop, and then
Yeah.
But it's the first time like
Dude.
manually I'm like,
Wow.
goodbye pass. But it's just because when we get the pass back on is when Milo's 2, and then it's on.
Nice.
Then it's better than it's
All
ever
in,
been.
yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be real.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure I went on this entire loop of my annual pass.
It happens.
Damn.
Feels bad.
Damn, that does
terrible.
suck.
Feels bad.
You used to have to go twice, right, to get your money?
It was like
more than
2.8 times. Now it's like 3.5.
Got it.
Earlier this year, I had to give up Red Bull,
Yeah.
and I miss it dearly. I'll look at cans of Red Bull, and it was like, it's the ring, It just feels like I really want that Red Bull. Yeah.
Oh,
That-
Lord
that
of the Rings
ring.
ring.
Yeah.
Okay, that ring.
The one ring.
Like
Yeah.
Kyle, put
Gotta
the
say
Red
the
Bull
one.
down. You're like, I did.
I was
You
like,
looked
the
down, it's in
tape?
your hand.
Yeah.
I was like, the taste. I was like, is
100%
this coming
that.
to get you?
Yeah.
I recently saw a headline of an article I didn't read that said that energy drinks like that increase your heart, whatever, and you're gonna die.
I was having heart
What was
palpitations.
the one that got
Yeah.
like banned? Loco.
For
Four
Loko.
Loko,
That was
because it's an upper and a
That
downer.
was-
it's,
yeah, alcohol,
it's like straight
yeah.
up.
The first time Red Bull was ever described to me, I remember going to a 7-Eleven to try it because a friend told me about it. He was like, "This thing has taurine in it. That's what they give bulls." It was like,
I thought it
Like
came
Bull.
from bulls.
it was like
Whatever.
It was like
What's
a
the
bull
other one, balls or
tranquilizer.
Balls.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Got
Oh my God,
Guarana or
balls,
whatever.
dude.
Balls
Yeah,
Guarana,
balls,
dude.
yeah.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
Dude,
legendary.
I can't even smell.
Legendary drink.
Yeah.
If I smell a Red Bull, my chest hurts.
Yeah.
Dude, if you don't crack a Balls energy drink on a WoW expansion launch day,
Yeah.
you're doing it wrong.
Tradition, dude.
Yeah.
I had a very we went to a LAN center to play games for like a long time. We had so many energy drinks that my body like still hurts.
I'm proud of you though, Kyle. That's tough. Giving up
Tough,
some
dude.
cold turkey, man. That's
Yeah.
Give up beef. We recently
Respect.
talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
Are you giving up beef too, bossy boy?
That's a step, man. That's one's a real
Give
step.
it time, dude.
Yeah. Just quit. That's the easiest part.
Anybody?
just
It doesn't
trying
have to be
not to
foods
do
you're
it
giving up.
again.
Just flavors maybe you don't like anymore. Or I'm kind of the opposite.
can't
I'm
think
like
of
I'm
anything.
more into like things like tomatoes and mushrooms that I used to hate.
Ooh.
Yeah, I go in cycles for certain places to avoid like eating there too much.
Yeah.
Like I think I went a year period without eating at Sujita Annex.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because
It's
I was
big.
worried I was going there too much. It's like, when one of the best ramens in the U.S. is tasting plain to you, you might want to
Pump the
pump
brakes.
the
Yeah.
brakes a little bit.
Everything in
I've
moderation.
never had it. they only have pork broth, so I can't eat it.
Yeah, well, you need to go to the one across the street, which is it's seafood, so shouldn't be any beef in it. It's
Oh, really?
Oh.
I didn't
seafood
know they
based
had
broth.
a different broth.
Yeah,
I've gone to Tatsu. They have a chicken broth.
yeah, they do.
Tatsu's good. Kyle, when was the last time you had beef?
Damn.
I had tacos today.
I want ramen now.
How long ago?
That was like 2 hours ago.
You've quit beef for 2 hours, bro. You're already there.
Damn, dude.
You've started.
Good job, Kyle.
I'm mistaken.
Thank you.
The Impossible and the Beyond burgers are good. Really good.
Yeah, maybe just try some of that.
They're
weird
super
stuff,
good,
dude.
Kyle.
Pretenders, dude.
Impossible burgers are really good.
Any more food?
Food sucks.
Robert Lee. Food sucks. Robert Lee. Hi, all. Let's talk boss fights.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite boss fights? We're talking actual boss fight
Lady
mechanics you've
Butterfly.
loved and enjoyed replaying.
Good
What?
one.
Lady Butterfly.
Good one.
Lady Butterfly!
She's so
I'm
hard.
like scared of Lady Butterfly because I didn't get that far
She
when
was
I
really
played
hard.
it. And I'm just like, that moment the little name comes up, I'm going to be like, oh, this is where I put the
Our
controller
last
down,
attempt. I just had one more hit and I lost. I was like,
Name as many as you can think of and why they're your favorites. Some of the most memorable boss fights for me include the final boss in Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry against Virgil. At first, it seemed impossible, but when I worked it out, it was about being more aggressive. It became a joy beating up Virgil. Ruby weapon in Final Fantasy VII. Spent hours experimenting with different materia combos to beat this badass, and it's the best thing about the game for me. The final Valkyrie boss in God of War, which I just like put my toe in, was like, nope.
Yeah, I fought her like 5 times. I was just like, I'm not going to do it.
I've not played any Souls games, so this was insanely tough for me, and took over 200 attempts to finally beat, but what a fight.
But you didn't give up.
I
respect that.
always felt this fight was fair, and when I failed, it was my fault. Combat in this game feels great. I don't remember the name of it, but I told you this the other day, Brad, but the 3 things in Bloodborne.
The Shadows of Yharnam.
Oh, yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. Oh, love that.
Oh,
Because I remember,
yeah.
like, the first time they beat me, I was like, I got this. I know I have this, you know?
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that tires me out in Souls games is, like, when you just get halfway through the bar, it's like, you know, like your hands get sweaty and you just, it's like, I have the will to do this, but I'm just, like, kind of tired. Like, my shoulders hurt.
Physically
and,
affected.
And, like, just shifting from one dude to the other dude, like, just, I don't know, it just kind of,
It's like
it
a
managed that
mini
throughout the fight.
checkpoint,
Having
dude.
3 health bars made it so satisfying to, like, take one of them
Yeah.
out.
I feel like if we exclude all Souls bosses, this will be a more interesting conversation.
Yeah,
'Cause
like
there's
all
certain-
mine are.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just because
I would bring up, there's just so
Yeah.
many. That's like, there's Souls bosses, and then like,
I have to mention Bloodstarved Beast, though.
Bloodstarved
like,
Beast.
Bloodstarved Beast seemed impossible, and then once you get it, you can just destroy it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the boss, dude.
Yeah.
The boss.
I mean, Super
Oh,
Mario
wow.
64.
gun apart.
Yeah, dude.
Like, Super Mario 64 was so nuts when it first came out because we just never, like, I played like Tomb Raider and stuff, but this was like 3D in a way that we'd never experienced. And I remember me and my friends, like, all didn't know what the hell to do with that final Bowser fight. Like, the fact that we had to swing him around and like, target something was like, what?
I get
Like,
what you're saying,
none of
man.
us were good at it, you know? It was hilarious to just
Oh,
fail
yeah,
that
it's
so
really
many
hard to
times.
do.
I feel like some of the bosses in Galaxy were really good. I can't remember a specific one, but like, I liked the jumping mechanic.
The
for
Mighty
that
Pooh
boss.
from Conquer.
The one where you get the drill in Galaxy 2.
Oh,
You
yeah.
drill
yeah,
through
yeah.
the planet
Yeah,
to
yeah.
hit the one.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, especially
Oh, Jones, you loved Arthas.
I was gonna say,
Oh, man.
I
I mean,
get to raid bosses.
I love that
baby.
expansion.
bosses
Arthas
count.
I'll
was
tell
a
you
giant
some,
pain in the
I'll
ass.
tell you
Oh my
some raid
god.
bosses. Yeah,
Knocking you off the
I
ledge.
fought raid bosses that are harder than anything I've played in a single player game. Pepsi,
Kind of.
Pepsi Man, aka Living Liquid from Alexander in Heaven's Ward. The savage version of it. Took me 3 months with our group to beat that fight.
Whoa.
3
Whoa.
months.
Damn.
A lot of groups just like gave up on it because it was just like the biggest spike in difficulty the game had ever like done. Well, for normal raid stuff, it just like came out of nowhere and like wrecked everybody. It's like it was insanity.
What did you get for beating it?
You got to go to the next fight, which was you get gear, but like the
All right.
next fight, I mean satisfaction.
Yeah.
And then like the next fight, which is also a little ridiculous too.
I'm breaking your rule, Hubert. The final fight in Sekiro was like one of my favorite boss fights of all time.
Yeah, ever,
Yeah.
ever.
I think Metal Gear Rex left a big impact
Metal Gear
on me.
Rex, dude.
Yeah. And I think it's because you switched into first person, you get a really good sense of its scale
Yeah.
to shoot the stingers at it. So you look at it first person and feel how big it is.
What about Chapter 4, MGS 4, Mech vs. Mech?
Oh, Rex and Ray?
I didn't think you were going that way with that. I thought you were going with a different fight. That fight's great, actually.
Sick fight, dude.
Yeah,
So cool.
Ray versus Rex?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Culminates on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really good,
Just
actually.
like dashing in and out. There's like buildings and stuff.
Fighting Armstrong in Revengeance.
Yeah.
Holy crap! That fight.
Jetstream,
Super
Sam.
strong.
What's the line, dude? What's the line?
The
Armstrong line, the meme?
There's two.
The meme.
Yeah.
It's got
What's
so
the
many
meme,
good ones.
Damiani?
Nanomachines is the meme.
Nanomachines.
Yeah.
Nano
son.
machines.
There,
Son.
there it
But
is.
like,
Yeah.
the most famous one is like Nanomachines, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
That's
that.
it. That's it.
Did we bring up Shadow of the Colossus?
Oh yeah,
Oh, sure.
those are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Lost fight.
6 of those are god tier.
The third one is probably like the most famous. I guess.
Whatever one has like the hallways you got to climb up, and it just kind of walks back and forth down the hallway, just because you got to jump on them.
Second to last.
And just that, I remember being. It wasn't really
And
until
they're like
Uncharted that I
Colosseum.
felt that again. Just
I
that.
think. Well,
You
you're talking
know,
about
like-
like the circular one or the long hallway?
It's a long hallway,
That's
and you got to
15.
like.
Yeah, that's like near the end.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought there were only
That was the
13
number.
total.
That's so great.
Yeah, like it's the same as the first boss, but it's like a giant corridor, and you gotta like
Yeah.
get this thing to launch you up to the second platform. You
Yeah.
get a break thing to get to the
Oh.
third, and you jump
off the
down,
bridge
Then he
thing.
breaks that one, and you gotta go like the other. Yeah.
What a game, dude.
Slightly inconsistent, but phenomenal nonetheless. Top tier and extremely important to the games. Batman Arkham. Some of the best bosses.
Yeah, I was thinking Mr. Freeze.
Mr.
Gotta give it
Freeze,
up to Mr.
dude.
Freeze. Yeah.
Is that the one where you
So
like
good.
sneak around when he's like freezing?
Yep, you have
Yeah,
to.
one
Sneak
tactic.
around and it's like, oh, you use that against me, I'm not gonna let you do that again.
Yeah.
That's the coolest
So
part.
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
I think of Deathstroke and Arkham Origins is just like a pure hand-to-hand test of skill. That's one of my favorites. It's a really good boss fight.
The end of City is really great.
The end of City.
I was surprised the second time I played City. I was like, oh, I forgot all this.
dude.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, speaking of the end.
Yeah.
The end.
The end.
Yeah.
When you
One of
actually
my
fight
favorite-
them.
My favorite sniper battle in history.
Is there,
I feel like you can just like go with franchises for bosses.
Is
You
there a
know?
sniper battle in 2? Can't remember.
Yeah.
In
there
Metal Gear
is
2?
Yeah.
There's a sniper sequence that
Sequence.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like he
But
has like
you're
a
just, like,
sniper
running,
sequence
right?
boss battle like every
there's
game.
Sniper Wolf in the first one.
Yeah.
And then,
But then in 2, I don't.
It's
in
you're
2,
you're
it's
protecting
Vamp.
Emma.
No, you're
Oh,
protecting
Cross
yeah,
Big
from
Show.
Vamp.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
that
there's
one's
3 in the
nice.
end,
Yeah.
but 4 I don't think there's one either.
Blood you in?
Maybe
I
one of
don't
the
know, I'm not good
beasts.
at
Four, yeah,
Or-
4 in the snow.
Any Metroid
Totally
bosses?
forgot about that.
Yep. Yep.
Metroid bosses?
Castlevania has some good
Five.
ones.
What's face? Quiet.
Quiet,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Super
That was a sick
Metroid
fight.
Yeah.
Moment. Ebo Show. G'day, allies.
Whizpig.
Good day.
Next gen is upon us, but we haven't seen anything. The current generation of
That means
consoles.
it's
It's not upon us.
Yeah. The current generation of consoles didn't show much at the reveal event. Nintendo waited 2 months before release to show off the console. Do you think Sony and Microsoft will follow in Nintendo's footsteps and show off the console closer to release or have a reveal event? In terms of coverage, what would you want? Does Kyle still believe in his do's or don'ts episode? Thanks, Ibrahim.
The only thing I ever want in life is an E3 console reveal.
Yeah.
Right now. Let's go. E3
Like it's out?
No.
Oh,
They
oh,
show.
show out.
I see.
Debut.
Yeah.
Nothing more exciting in the
Reveal.
industry than that. That is like the best.
Game
The
reveal.
smoke and the lights.
More exciting. It's like yeah, but like there's games every day, and games get announced every day and released every day, and it's like, you know, we haven't had console reveals in so long. Like next gen, it's so exciting.
Hubert, I want that, but I want like whoever to go up to the console and hit power and it turns on and it plays a new game, which is an announcement as well. So like they reveal a new game by powering up the
Oh,
system,
yeah.
and it's
That's a
like
10
ready to
out of
go,
10,
and it's
exactly.
like and then they start playing it.
It's
Yeah.
back
Well, wait,
free.
Ghost of
Nectary
Tsushima or something.
reveal when
Yeah.
it turns on PS5.
Dude.
Act 3 should be like the 4th
Best
game
of
on
both
the
worlds.
list.
Right, right.
You should
Yeah.
boot it up. It's like Bloodborne 2,
Yeah,
Horizon 2.
it's like
just like,
it's cross-gen games, and
Yeah.
you get to this, like, wait,
That's what I was thinking. The
free?
menu is
Boots
the
it up.
reveal.
That's a great idea.
Oh,
That's what I
Gran
want.
Turismo.
But to like be honest, that's exactly what I expect. Is just 100% what happened in 2013, which is announcements in February and March, and then releasing that fall. Like I think that's just going to play out exactly the same.
If it ain't broke.
Yeah.
I usually don't like hardware reveal videos, but I do like close-ups of the controller. I like to see like the slight changes to the new controller.
Yeah.
It's just kind of interesting.
But is it just going to be another state of play for Sony, or are they going to have like?
That's the question.
They'll have
That's a good thing
They'll
they
have
could
thing.
do for like, especially for Sony. In VR, they give you a thing during E3 where you can like see the console in VR,
That'd be so cool,
and like
Damiani.
spinning around.
PSVR, a little live tour. That's
Yeah.
so. I love
Yeah,
stuff like
there
that.
you
That's
go.
awesome.
Damiani, that is a cute idea.
It's a
dude.
great
Cute
idea.
idea.
Yeah.
Damiani, that's
But yeah, I
amazing.
do think that they'll want to get it in people's minds because it's like once you see the box, that was the problem with Wii U. Like once you see the box, it's a real thing and you pre-order it or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like it's something that's coming.
Man, remember how botched the Wii U reveal was? Where they only they like refused to show the console. They only showed
right.
the pad. Ugh. It was so
Ugh.
odd. Everyone was like, "Wait, is this what is it?" Oh man,
Ugh.
what a botch.
Tegan Combati. Hello. Quite often, successful games will just have a direct sequel after a while. However, most fighting games will instead have smaller evolutions of gameplay and design more often in order to keep up with the competitive demand of skill to play a fighting game consistently and be successful at it. As a common result, when we casually think of one fighting game, we're actually thinking of the sequential growth of multiple versions of a game experience getting better collectively over time, or at least our favorite additions contained in the series of that game. Therefore, I ask you, within the Easy Allies Hall of Greats, is the entire Street Fighter II series referenced as the direct source material to the inducted party, which would include all 5 versions of Street Fighter II, or is the game inducted the literal and only defining version of the game nominated, like Metal Gear Solid? Personally, I prefer the preference of all versions of Street Fighter II within the induction. However, if it is only one specific game, I completely understand, but please choose Super Turbo or Hyper Fighting. Seriously, please, discuss now and please make a judgment. Please and thank you. Love and respect.
I think in that example, because with Hall of the Greats, it seems like people choose when they're presenting if
Yes.
it's one specific iteration or all of them. I think I remembered someone saying specifically that it was Super Turbo for 2.
I think we
No.
used to do that, but
No, yeah, like my intention with Street Fighter 2 was, yeah, it's like
All of it?
Street Fighter 2 all inclusive.
yeah.
You know, and
Yeah,
that was, like,
so it's
part
the
of argument.
opposite. Someone asked that, and
Because
you
it
were
wasn't
like, no.
just like the
Right.
versions that they're stating. It was also that like it was on arcade, it was on Super Nintendo, it was
Yeah.
on Genesis. Like it was just everywhere with Street Fighter 2. You know, and like that was kind of part of its legacy. It's like yeah, you could play that game
Yeah.
one way or another. You're able to play that game.
and like asking like preferences, I'll always pick the last one that has the biggest roster.
Right,
Except for the one that came out on Switch this year. That is a downgrade.
Oh, that weird one. yeah.
Ultra Street Fighter 2 is not Ultra.
Oh right, sure.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
It adds angry, serious Ken. What is Ken
Oh.
called? Violent Ken.
Yeah.
Violent Ken?
Yeah, Violent Ken to me is a negative addition to a roster.
Is he like the evil Ryu?
Yeah, he's like evil Ryu.
Equivalent?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Violent
I think the cutoff
Violent?
is like before they made
I'd watch a
whatever
movie
the
about Violent Ken.
Alpha or 3 or
He's
whatever.
family
yeah.
man.
Not weird ports afterwards.
And we know, delete your comment, we know Violent Ken existed before Ultra Street Fighter 2. You think that's news to us?
I knew that.
We know. Delete your comments.
There you go.
Clearing chat right now.
Ooh,
Clear
you knew
transfer.
some. No, we know.
Symphony of Steel. Hey, allies. I was just wondering if any of you have your own personal video game related trophies. For me, it's my not actual trophies, like achievement trophies.
Oh, achievement.
For me, it's my copy of Star Wars Dark Forces 2, still in a
Oh.
factory sealed old school PC box. It's not worth a whole lot, but it's on prominent display, overshadowing the rest of my gaming collection. So to me, it's priceless. My friend is one of the original server blades for the Frostwolf Vanilla WoW server that is signed by a bunch of the
Whoa.
devs when the blades were auctioned off.
What does it mean to be a server blade?
It's like the physical like thing you put into a server housing.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Cool.
We both played on that server back in the day, and I honestly don't know of anything that could beat that level of personal gaming history,
That's
and I
really
will always
cool.
be eternally jealous of that
Wow.
one.
That's
really
crazy.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
That's intense. Any, I mean, you have like 5 billion of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what have I got that's kind of more unique and meaningful. So I've got signed copies of both Eternal Darkness and The Wind Waker.
Signed by who?
Kyle.
Oh,
Yeah.
by Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, Eternal Darkness is signed by Dennis Dyack, and then Wind Waker is signed by Miyamoto and Onuma.
That's tight.
Kyle's like, my signature would have been way more valuable.
I'm trying to think about there was something else I just had in mind.
Dyack.
This is hilarious. When like there was that court order or whatever to like
Yeah.
destroy all the copies of like X-Men Legends or oh no, Too Human.
Anything that you
Yeah.
used,
Yeah, so I made sure I have a sealed copy of Two Human
Oh man,
nice.
that I got
that's too
just
many.
because of that.
I have a cease and desist from Square Enix for including Advent Children footage in our teaser for the Final Fantasy retrospective.
Awesome.
Frame it, baby.
Why is it not framed?
Yeah, frame that.
We gotta
So
frame
proud of that. We got that email that day.
Wow.
And it literally, it's clouds in it for 4 seconds. And they were like,
Jeez.
no! And I was like,
That would have been a
"Okay,
copyright strike.
It's a movie! Did you know that 12 people bought the DVD because you posted that? Like, okay, sorry.
Anne sent me a signed copy of Bloodborne, which is pretty dope.
Nice.
German copy, but signed by Miyazaki.
Sick.
So it's pretty dope.
Sick.
But the one that popped into my head first is not my own, but my friend Reed from like 1,000 years ago bought a mint in-box, unopened copy of Daikatana because the game was so bad. He bought it for like $2 and he still has it unopened. And I think that's so funny.
Yeah, it's very similar to my Two Human thing.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot. I have I guess all my old PC game boxes are really cool, and like all my old consoles. I don't even know if those would like still work. I have like an NES, obviously, and like Genesis. A couple signed Metal Gear games from Kojima.
Sick.
But I would say the main treasure that got lost to time that I don't have, that I wish I had, that I would really care about, would be my old magazines. Just like all my old, PlayStation magazines and Game Pros and Nintendo Powers and PC game, like
PSM.
yeah, I've subscribed to magazines like my entire life, video game magazines, like actually.
Do you still subscribe?
I still get PC Gamer and Game Informer now.
Oh, wow.
Sick, dude.
Yeah, storage is so
It
hard
got-
for
it-
that stuff.
Yeah. So, one day, my mom, just through no ill will, obviously, my mom, cleaning the house because these magazines take up so much space. Just like dumped them out. Asked me too, and back then I was like, yeah, I'm not, they're old, so dump them. Just like shit.
Yeah, we had some offer to send like every issue Nintendo Power, and we were just like, where are we gonna put it?
Yeah.
Right.
So many, dude.
Yeah,
We
we
had
don't-
hundreds.
We
I
don't.
have,
we
no,
don't
we
have
don't.
space.
There's a
We are
Yeah.
running out of room fast.
there's a site that like preserves all the old retro mags and stuff, and like forever ago I paid like the original like subscription fee, and like it got me lifetimes like
Nice.
in there. So like whenever I need like an old magazine, they're usually on there, and they're usually all from only defunct. Like they're not published, and the publisher doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And no one bought the rights afterwards, so it's like
Wow.
no one cares about these anymore. And like a bunch of old like Nintendo Powers are like all on there. It's like they have like a 15-year window where it has to be after 15 years before they'll consider uploading it and stuff. So
Got it.
they'll eventually get all of them, but having all those older ones, it's just nice to be able to like have a clean scan, like zoom in, like don't worry about like a tear or something faded. Yeah.
What a lot of work.
I know.
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
like,
I thought it would be the Carbuncle plushie I bought for you at Comic-Con, but whatever.
you didn't get signed by Kyle.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Although I did. I told a friend of mine I was going to meet Sakaguchi when he premiered that mobile game that now has a sequel that I don't remember the name of that mobile game.
Tear Battle?
Yeah.
Yes,
Tear
that was at, he was doing interviews at PAX, and he had his parents ship out his copy of Final Fantasy for the NES, and I brought it for the interview and had him sign it.
Nice.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything like signed or anything like that necessarily valuable, but I have my original gold cartridge of Zelda on NES that started everything for me.
Wow.
Gold. Somebody also
that's
pointed
a good
out, messaged to me, I don't remember where it was, but it's the 10-year anniversary of Final Fantasy 13 coming up,
Oh,
which means the
shoot.
goddess is also
Well
10 years
played,
old now.
Drew.
Oh, wow.
Full play, all three.
Let's stream it.
I've never even seen any of them. Like
13's awesome, dude.
13's cool.
It's a good game.
We're gonna have a really good time.
Seriously,
And
good
people are
game.
gonna be surprised.
This could be a quick one.
It's good.
Master Pants, what racing game do you feel like you were most skilled at out of all that you have played?
Mario Kart 8.
Mario Kart 8.
Driver.
I don't know.
I'm horrible at racing games. Played a lot of Driver, though.
I was okay at Twisted
That
Metal
was a
2,
tricky
but it's
game.
not really a racing game.
No.
Mario Kart, probably, I guess, yeah. 8.
I'm horrible at Mario Kart.
Probably Need for Speed games.
They just said your personal best. I'm bad at all of them. SSX.
I really like Need for Speed.
Yeah, yes, SSX, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be that for me, too, actually.
I'm sorry. Did you
I've got no idea. Come on.
Yeah, I have no
He's
idea.
good at all of them.
Levis is good at all of them.
I
Spin
don't
tires.
have
Spin tires,
Spin
dude.
tires.
Everyone's got racing games.
Spin tires.
Big rigs.
No racing.
Which big rigs?
Kelvin, greetings, allies. How's your backlog doing? Personally, I'm
Not
so
good.
excited that I completed my ever elusive backlog about 6 months ago.
What?
Then life happens. I had my first ever child, and now my backlog is increasing steadily again. But even then, I think the last 6 months was one of the most intense gaming releases periods ever, with new releases like Death Stranding, which takes very long, and old Switch RPG goodies like Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, Grandia HD Collection, etc. But as Ben and Huber often said, it's an embarrassment of riches. Cheers. So how's your backlog going is the official question.
I don't have one.
Never ending.
Never
Yeah,
ending.
mine is brutal right now.
It's bad.
It never
Actually
ends.
going into...
I'll never be caught up.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Pretty much.
I'll say I'm optimistic about December. I think December, like, I'm gonna like play some games, dude.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I grabbed a code for Lost Ember and was just like, oh, what am I doing? Looks neat.
Yeah.
A bunch of animals, running around.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay. You just say dreams. It's like,
There's
I
always
checked out Red Dead Online on Stadia today. It was like,
there's just always something new or something old. If I don't want to play a new
Never
game,
ends.
yeah, just it's like, oh, I'll go
All
play.
you need is something blue.
So much.
I'll play Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like,
just doing all that Stadia testing, like, I was really getting into Metro again. Like,
Yeah.
I've, like, got farther than the first time I started,
Exodus.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
I got an editing backlog, man. I got that Fallen Order spoiler mode to cut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just haven't had time to put that together.
It's funny. I don't
My
think
power kept
about.
going out every 15 minutes last night.
Oh,
It
weird.
was really windy.
I don't think about games like that. I guess it's either like I want to play it or I don't play it.
Yeah?
You know.
There's a freedom.
Yeah, I think you have less other games that come in and it's like, oh, I have to play this right now.
Well,
Like,
I don't-
completely-
I don't consider games that I feel obligated to play for work as part of my backlog. You know, like I probably should play Fire Emblem, but like I'm compelled by work to play that. You know.
I just want to play a lot of video games.
I want to play everything,
doesn't
dude.
matter. Yeah.
I just want to freaking play everything.
Michael Miller, Greetings Allies, been a Patreon supporter since 2017. Mwah.
Thank you.
But I'm new to the $20 tier and it feels awesome. I'll try to keep my first Q&A question short and simple. I recently downloaded the Metal Gear Solid HD collection from Xbox Game Pass. It's been great being able to play my favorite game of all time, Metal Gear Solid 3, without having to hook up my PS3. But it honestly felt weird controlling Snake on an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a game franchise that you associate with this specific console? SSX, PlayStation, man. Side note, it's a crime that MGS4 is still stranded on the PS3. Yeah, Jeff Groats, co-founder of GameShows.com, laughed at me when I was like, nah, I gotta play SSX3 on PS2. And he was like, they made it for Xbox. They designed it for Xbox. And I was like, I'm playing on PS2 because of the controller. And he was like, what? That was just like alien to him, that you need a controller.
They designed it for Xbox.
All Souls games will always be PS4 controller for me.
Yeah,
And PlayStation
I definitely have
controller.
controller preferences for,
Yeah.
Souls I would always prefer to play with the PS4 controller.
Justin and Jelmo played Dark Souls for the first time ever on an Xbox controller and hated the game. And I was like, what? This game was so perfect for you. He tried it again like a few months later on a PlayStation and loved it.
Yeah.
It's just weird, like that controller, I don't know, it's weird.
And then like similarly, like I prefer the Xbox controller for racing games. To,
Shooters, I like.
Yeah.
I've always liked the Xbox controller for shooters.
Even games like from the same publisher, like Nintendo stuff, like N64 games for me. Like, gotta have an N64 controller. Like all subsequent updated controllers, like
Majora's
Virtual Console
Mask,
stuff,
too.
does not feel
Adapters.
right for me.
So
When we played Smash recently, we haven't enforced like the GameCube controller thing, but I remember that being a huge deal.
I still like to play with games.
Me too.
yeah.
For sure, that's a good example.
Good way to play it.
I like playing all my games with the DualShock, but if it's on another thing, it's whatever.
Playing on PC,
I just prefer the
use-
DualShock. I just like it.
I use a DualShock on PC, and it's like funny how sometimes that just doesn't work right.
Oh,
Like Star Wars, I'm trying to use. Maybe I have it just mapped wrong or something, but like every time I try to do the map, because it thinks the touchpad is the mouse, my lightsaber just goes all crazy.
Oh.
So I'm just taking hitting M.
That's funny.
Yeah.
yeah.
played Devil May Cry 4 on Xbox.
Yeah,
And that was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird.
Actually,
for sure.
yeah, I started 5 on
Yeah,
Xbox, and,
for sure.
and yeah, same kind of thing. We were like using that top shoulder button and like holding it in to
Yeah.
lock on. all
Oh,
the
you know
time.
what I couldn't do was Evil Within on Xbox One because it was that game is R1 constantly because it's crouch. You know, like that's you stealthing through that game. And the Xbox One, the R1 is just such a. It's like there's no like give to it. It's just not. It's not a very squishy button.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
And it's bulbous.
ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Bulbasaur.
weird.
Bulbous
I
button.
don't. I generally use Xbox One controller for like any PC game. Like I don't think I use PS4 DualShock for any kind of PS or PC game. But it's funny, like when it comes to like any game on like that's on multi-platform for like Xbox or PS4, like it's funny how you can go back and forth between the controllers and stuff. But like on PC, for some reason, like the trigger stuff, like they both feel good, but for some reason I prefer Xbox One controller. And the funny thing to lead up, the biggest difference for me between the two is left D-pad and left analog placement. For like Final Fantasy 14, I absolutely cannot play that because I'm so used to the Xbox One's layout, and I play the 360 controller that I'm fumbling around with buttons. I'm on the left side, like targeting and stuff. I'm like, how do I play this game again? Like it is like night and day. It's so weird. Like everything else, I feel like there's not that big of a difference.
Yeah.
That one game, it's like I can't play with this controller. It's just so weird.
You swapped controllers on me for Silver Squad, and one of my Pokemon fainted because I was like, I meant to like select something and I pulled them out or canceled something.
It was
Sorry.
A and B.
Sorry, get away from me. Sorry.
Yay, man!
You caught yourself really quickly.
Okay, this is intense. I think I
I
understand this, but
can
I'm not
feel
sure.
Brad being like,
Confirm
don't.
kill.
Yeah.
This is a game. Terju Engi, hello allies. There can be only one. You can play one game today, but have to delay the rest by 5 years.
No, I'm not playing.
Are you not?
He saw the gears in the water.
Who's in? Who's in?
I'll play.
I'll play.
Okay. Rules. You have 10 seconds to pick.
Shit.
If you don't answer, it equals a skip. You have one time. You can skip once manually.
I'll get a timer.
Or it says one time chance to skip. The second time you lose the right to pick. If more than one game is left by the end, all of them get wiped from the face of the earth.
Whoa!
This is dump/kill your babies.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like
So
killing
what
babies.
was
do we
the
get-
first part of it?
Okay.
Like, we're
10
picking some-
second time to pick. So I think that's all of us.
What's the premise again? Like you said, you get to pick a game, but another one is count for 5 years.
One game
Yes.
comes out today, but the rest are delayed by 5
Is there a
years.
list?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a list
Okay.
of games.
So we get 10 seconds per, or we
to
hear the
be
whole
like
list?
to be like that's the one. You
Okay.
know? And then if there's more than one at the end, so you can only pick one.
Okay, so we all collectively
So
have
we all have to
10
agree?
seconds
Well, I
after
don't know.
the
yeah,
list.
maybe you all get individual lists.
Yeah,
No,
is it-
all of us
if it's
collectively.
all agree, we're
Collectively, let's
done.
do
Like,
collectively.
everything's getting wiped.
It's
from
more
existence.
crazy.
Okay.
But as soon as the list is done, tell me when the list is done.
Okay. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 10 total.
Good God.
10
1
games.
second per game to discuss.
Oh my god.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
You got to read them all.
Read them all.
Oh,
And then we get
And
10
then we
seconds.
and then
pick
we
the
choose
one.
which one
Oh, okay.
exists.
Then we pick
and
the one. We have
rest
10
Oh,
seconds
okay.
from when you say the last game.
Got it.
Yeah.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Animal Crossing New Horizons, The Last of Us Part 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantasy Star Online 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Elden Ring, Halo Infinite, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Go.
Kind of saying Elden Ring because it's so far away?
Yes.
Maybe? I don't know.
Ring. Elden Ring.
Is this one to keep?
I don't know.
Yes.
Want to keep?
Animal Crossing.
Final Fantasy VII.
now.
Final
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
VII. Final Fantasy VII.
Final
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
VII.
VII.
Final Fantasy VII.
Wait.
Wait, did we all agree on Elden Ring?
No.
No.
Then none of them
They're all
have.
gone.
Damn it!
People yelled Elden Ring now.
Yeah.
Ah,
We did
they're
that.
all gone.
But okay.
I could wait 5 years for Elden Ring. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Hey. We never really
Well,
thought
you
Saturday
deleted
was
it
ever
forever,
gonna happen
Brad.
anyway.
Yeah,
No,
it's gone
I
forever.
did.
It's gone forever
I could have been
now.
cool 5 years.
I love Tearju comments this on the showcase too. I'm gonna get a comment next month. He's gonna be like, that's not at all how I intended that to be. Caesar
Record
Villa.
yourself and submit it as the showcase entry.
Hello, allies. We've had this running segment for over 2 years now. It's video game soundtracks.
Who's this from?
Hard to
Oh,
believe, isn't
right.
it? This is from
Caesar.
Caesar Villa.
Oh, yeah.
We are almost at the end of the line. Only the current gen consoles remain, so we'll be done in February if everything turns right. So this month, Music Library, the PS4. Go! Love and respect,
Oh,
Caesar.
boy.
Spider-Man.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3,
Bloodborne.
dude.
Bloodborne.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shenmue
Bloodborne.
3.
Nice.
Shenmue 3? Good
Shenmue
soundtrack,
3.
dude.
I like it a lot.
Great.
Sure, Red Dead, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Persona
I mean,
5.
Journey. Journey.
Journey, my God. But yeah,
Persona
that's
5.
Nier Automata.
God of War, yeah.
Undertale, sure.
Witcher 3.
Undertale.
Dude,
Witcher
Witcher
3, of course. Yeah, you got Shadow of the Colossus, yes.
Shovel Knight.
Tetris Effect is
Shovel
a really
Knight,
fun
dude.
pick.
Yeah,
Shovel
Tetris
Knight.
Effect
We
is
got
great.
Bloodborne on.
You have to
there.
put Shovel Knight in. You have to.
I am Astrobot.
It's like the only song I remember.
So
Go
quick.
faster.
Oh, Monster Hunter, of course. No, I was wanting to go
slow.
slower.
Dark Souls 3.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy
Stormblood.
14, Stormblood.
Stormblood.
All
All the 14 stuff, for sure.
Not
Persona 5, of course.
Dragon Quest.
Skip
Fez
Dragon
is
Quest.
good.
Skip it.
Nier Automata,
First
of
one's
course.
good.
Talos Principle has a nice soundtrack. More of a PC game.
Sonic
Sonic
Mania.
Sonic
Oh,
Mania.
that's a fun one.
DMC5 is good.
I bet Dishonored is really good. I just don't remember it.
Then it doesn't get on.
Yeah.
I think Street Fighter 5 is actually a
Hey,
fun
Final
pick.
Fantasy 12 is good. Yeah.
I like Ni no Kuni
Sure.
1 soundtrack more than 2.
Yeah, 2 just rips off.
Yeah.
Destiny actually has really good soundtracks.
It does.
Doom.
Dude, Destiny is
Doom.
amazing.
Aw.
Shadowkeep has to be on like
Fire
all
is-
of Destiny.
Yeah, Fire is excellent.
Doom 2016.
Yes.
Does the licensed music count?
Ni no Kuni, yes.
The first Nino Kuni.
I don't know.
Thunderbird was alright. Witness had a cool soundtrack, right? I don't remember. The
I
trailer
think
used.
Witness is kind
Kiwami,
of-
dude,
the
Yakuza
trailer
games.
used a good song, but otherwise, no.
It's always fun music.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only time there's music in the game.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
there's
both
music.
of those.
They used Zoe Keating for a trailer that I really liked. That's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, Borderlands 3's got good music for sure.
Okay, we got a pretty good list here.
I should go.
Yeah.
But like best of all time is that what we're doing?
Oh, Deus Ex, yes.
We're just
Good
listing
stuff.
every game.
No, we're definitely
No,
not.
we're not.
Lots of
skipping
new,
a
lots
lot.
of stuff.
That's
No,
no,
but, like-
is good, yeah.
We're
But that's
stretching.
all- that's
I
all
feel
Is
we
there a
got.
limit?
We're not.
Like
Ten.
Borderlands 3 gets in, and I'm kind of like, all right.
Borderlands 3 has great music. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Greatest of the generation.
Greatest
though?
of the generation,
That's not the
brother?
list.
Yeah.
That's
That
the
is
list.
not the list.
That's the list.
No, it's not.
Isn't it?
Each
That
of
is not the list.
Each of these are icons of the generation.
These are just soundtracks we like. That's it.
That's
It's
way less
always been,
interesting.
Like, everything
That's
you
the
could possibly
question.
list that's actually good.
That's
And
less
I-
interesting.
I
Doesn't
specifically
matter.
recall Caesarville in past months saying, don't try to pick a top 10. Just
Okay.
literally barf them out. If you like something, I want it.
Yeah, like,
Control.
There you go.
Madden NFL 15, great soundtrack.
Does licensed music
All right,
count?
fine.
oh my god.
Bias
Nice
in your
things.
opinion of the soundtrack.
This
just
got
because you don't
salty.
like it.
Life is Strange
Yeah,
1
dude.
and 2 and
Life is
Before the
Strange 1 and
Storm
2
have a phenomenal balance
yeah,
of
Plague Tale.
licensed
Mega Man
and
X
original
collection,
music.
yeah.
So if you like both types, then it.
And I truly think that Final Fantasy 15 has a great soundtrack.
Oh
it
yeah,
does.
for
It
sure.
really,
Yeah.
really does.
Although, honestly, most of the game I was listening to the other soundtrack.
Ace Combat 7.
Ace Combat
yes.
7,
that's a
Assassin's
good one.
Creed, all of them, dude. All the Assassin's Creed games.
Gravity
are
Rush.
really good.
Go Gravity Rush.
Yes,
Get
yes.
on
All
there.
right, we just gave that guy like
Get
100
that
games.
on there.
Oh yeah, do we have the new God of War yet?
Yes.
It was at the
Okay.
beginning.
Stellaris is
It
on.
was at the beginning where the air is
PlayStation?
crisp.
Banner Saga.
Oh, everybody's gone to the Rapture. Got
At
to.
90
Yep.
That's like one of the
plus
best.
percentile.
I don't think Dear
Oscar's alright. Yeah, that's good.
All right, this is the last page. No more after this page.
We have to add one more game. One more game.
You gotta pick one more.
Windjammers.
Disney
There
Afternoon
we go.
Collection.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's good
there
music.
it is.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nailed it.
A little sneaky, but we'll allow it, Jones.
Yeah.
We'll allow it.
Rock Band would be sneaky.
Rock Band 4.
That's too sneaky. Too sneaky.
Simon, hey, allies, love what you do. Please keep up the great work. Is there any series that you used to love, but then it jumped the shark
Ooh.
and killed your interest in it for, or at least its story going forwards? For me, this would be. Oh, and this doesn't have to be games. For me, it would be things like Last Jedi for Star Wars, Season 7 and 8 for Game of Thrones, Mass Effect 3 for Mass Effect. These are just personal takes. If other people like these, then good for them.
Lost.
Smiley face, love and respect.
Lost episode 1.
Yeah.
Lost.
Episode
I needed
1.
4 episodes, and then I bailed. Well, I watched that with Amanda. We both like looked at each other like, all right,
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Sure.
Final Fantasy 7. But I came back.
This guy.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 is a good one because it was a fine game. It was a good game, but it really killed my interest in that entire franchise. Like I don't desire.
Tough, though. I
I
bet
don't
you'd
desire.
be back for a 6.
Right.
I would be back, but
It's
I don't
rough 'cause
desire it at all, dude. Desire index of Metal Gear game right now is a 0. I'm not even
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
But obviously,
it
we got
It didn't jump the shark, but the Assassin's Creed in London, I was like, I'm out. I cannot. I was just, there's too many.
Nice.
I just had to play too many. It was in and out. It was in and out. It was the same thing with in and out. I was like,
I get it.
Yep.
Sujita.
I climbed too many buildings.
For me, yeah, probably because I was really keeping up with Assassin's Creed, but yeah, once Origins, and like that game just being so huge.
Like
I'm
I liked 3. Like I love them all.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
And you're gonna go
You
back
just
to
100%
making
them.
every year, and I'm like, I don't know now.
X-Files when Duchovny left.
Nice, good one.
I actually I went through it when GT shut down, and it. I was expecting to bail when T1000 came in.
It
and I
holds
was like,
together
oh, okay.
a little more than you think, but it's still kind of just like, why are we still doing this?
Oh, I bailed on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Hard bail.
I mean,
That's
Hard bail, Call of Duty?
franchise.
Saturday Night Live,
Sure.
circa like
Oh,
1998 or
Yeah.
something like, you know, because I
What's
I
the
would
opposite
never
of
miss
jump-
it. I would
jump the
never
shark?
miss it.
They just like stopped being
Shark
good.
jumps you.
Yeah, the shark jumped them,
Mm-hmm.
and society was the shark.
SNL Jumping the Shark was playing Hillary Clinton singing the Hallelujah song and having that not be humorous. Like, this is a serious moment. It's Hillary Clinton on the piano singing Hallelujah. It's like, what is the show?
But did you watch it like
Wait,
every
what?
week up
She
until
did
that
that?
point?
No. It was help me. The cast
Kate
member.
McKinnon.
Yeah,
Kate
Kate
McKinnon.
McKinnon was being Hillary Clinton playing the piano, pretending this
Like
is a poignant moment.
The Cohen song?
Yeah. The
Secret chord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the whole bit. And it wasn't supposed to be funny. It was supposed to be like, this is a moment for everybody.
That's a long
I think
song.
it was the week he died.
Oh, that's weird.
Right.
That's real weird.
SNL, what? That is jumping the shark. That's not the opposite of jumping the shark.
you
That's
didn't-
the particular
but
moment.
Were you watching it every week up until that point, or did you just
more
did
consistently?
you see that
watching
live?
it? No.
Doesn't count.
I guess so. I guess that's fair. Maybe I did see that.
Someone
live.
just
Do we
told you
have to
about it,
have
or
a
you saw the
moment?
clip.
Do we have to have
Happy
a
Days,
specific
where
moment?
Fonzie jumps the shark.
Yeah.
There it is.
Which I've never seen a picture of. It's really funny.
He's on jet skis.
He's in like dumb shorts.
Yeah.
It's like, ah.
I do
Poor
love
guy.
the moment in Arrested Development where Winkler just kind of casually jumps over a shark on the dock.
Yeah.
So fun.
I did not bail, but man, when Batman the Animated Series changed its art style, I was like, oh. The
New
first time
Adventures?
Catwoman showed up, I was
Got
like,
it, yeah.
And I think that's when Robin shows up
I
at the
don't
same
know,
time,
dude.
too.
No, Robin's
Robin's
around.
Oh, but he definitely got a new style.
It was
Yeah.
the probably Tim
It's
Drake.
a time. There's a time jump.
I got it.
The original Ghostbuster animated season when they series when they took away Peter Venkman's original voice actor
That's jumping the shark.
because he sounded too much like Garfield apparently,
Yeah.
and Bill Murray didn't like it.
Ironic.
So they got rid
How
of him.
Then he was
ironic.
Garfield later. Isn't that
Yeah.
great?
Yeah.
Well, Garfield now.
I love this. Might need a little context. Corey Jackson, if EZA had its own team yell, what would they wear? Low tier Pokemon they use, and how would they interfere with other outlets to let EZA get ahead? So there's a character in Sword and Shield that has a group called Team Yell that are like their biggest fans. And I haven't gone very far in the story, but she's like, I'm sorry about them. Like they're just big
Yeah.
fans.
They're really weird.
It's funny because aren't they red, black, and white?
No.
It's like
They're like pink.
Pink,
They're like
pink,
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 okay.
pink, black and white.
Yeah.
pink, black, and white.
So
Yeah.
ours would probably be red, black,
Red,
and white.
black, and white. That's fine. Yeah.
What low tier Pokemon would they use?
Rattatas.
Magikarp.
Lots of
There's a
Rattatas.
bunch of
Rattatas.
Rattatas.
Good pick.
What's the
I feel like
Guzzlords?
we'd have a lot of Trubbish.
Lots
too.
of Trubbish.
Yeah.
It's just Trubbish evolved into Guzzlord.
Yeah. No, Trubbish evolves into Garbodor.
Garbodor.
Yes.
Garbodor.
Yeah.
So like that's the highest we get.
Yeah, it's Garbodor.
Garbodor's our best guy in the whole squad.
Yeah.
And how would they interfere with other outlets to easy? I mean, it's the memes, man. It
And the
would just
smell,
be-
man. We'd like
We'd
combine
stink.
Garbodors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a quick answer. I like it. Hi, Sanchez. Hello, allies. I have a question. Kyle, people love your Final Bosman. I like that you have tried new things and moved on from it. My suggestion, please don't take it to heart,
Okay,
is
I
why
won't
not
take
do
it
a
to heart.
one-time special for next-gen
Oh,
consoles
no.
next
I've
year.
been trying. He won't do it.
That's how the Final Bosman started. It would be an homage to the show. I think of it as how SNL characters come back after many years to make it worth your time. Business Jones, make it Patreon exclusive. Make people pay for it. Thank you for your time. Love and respect. P.S. I only want you guys to do what you feel passionate about and not something you're forced to do. That's how passion is lost for something.
Okay, so
There we go.
I got two answers for the an answer and an accusation. So I think this goes both ways and it ties in with my accusation. I think your assumption is you make that video, it goes well, and it creates a demand for more. And that is probably my fear, is like, and why we didn't do like a cute little, we're just doing one episode, is because like, it seems to me to like give people a thing that they want, but not actually, because they don't just want one episode. Nobody just wants me to come back and do one. They want the show to be back. And so I think it's kind of wrong to just do one episode of a show you don't intend to give more of. And so that's really how I feel with that. And then so my accusation is that, yeah, like I think that anybody who like says like, just do one, it doesn't actually just want one. And then also, I hate it when an SNL character comes back. That's almost never funny. It's almost never ever funny when it's like, I'm doing the old thing still. It's like, oh, okay. Without elaborating. Sorry?
You know what you could maybe do, Kyle? Because you would really only have to give one, and then because it's not the focus of it, we could straight up rip off Curb Your Enthusiasm and do a whole season about. They did the whole season about bringing back Seinfeld.
90210 is doing this right now.
Yes, we could do.
Wait,
a
they
whole,
are?
Yes.
Kyle,
They just
we
ripped
can
off
make-
Curb.
We can make a new show that's about something else, but like the objective is we're trying to create one new episode of the Final Bosman, and
I've been
the final
watching- I've
episode
been
is going to
watching a lot
show
of
it,
90210.
and that's it. But
It's got to have like a Roadrunner vibe where it's all of us trying to trick Kyle into doing Final Bosman, and we
We're,
all
like,
have different
editing-
ways to do
Editing
it.
pieces of him talking to camera together into one final boss.
Like I just physically force you, like I literally am behind
wear
you
a
holding
suit,
your
yeah.
wrists, like so. I was just thinking.
But then I'm like, I'm behind you, I'm like, meep, meep, and then you're like holding knives for some reason. I'm like, oh, he did it again.
Dynamite.
Yeah, it's dynamite.
Yeah.
It blows up.
Yeah, you just have like really stupid setups. So like you're like really elaborate things like you're doing for like this is gonna be the first part of the Final Bosman episode, and it's like nothing like the Final Bosman episode. You're taking like it's all different. And it'll anger everyone
I think that,
watching
yeah,
it.
yeah. Even that is just like it's just
Yeah.
it's there to irritate people, and I
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to just do like a little sneaky cute thing to just kind of rile people up or make them disappointed. Though I will say the mandatory update we did last year was fun. That was a really fun thing. And it did create a people who are just like, do more of these, do this all the time. And obviously that was kind of disappointing to them as well. But I think that's a clear reason why we can't do mandatory update all the time.
Right.
Is at least it's too essential.
Yeah.
3 more. Discarded digit. Which outfit in Super Mario Odyssey is objectively the best?
Oh man, probably the wedding dress.
Wedding dress objectively the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you would know.
And the
You're-
fact that Mario can just wear it.
Yeah. Right.
And
That
it's just a thing. It's
they were
like
so
fine.
protective of Mario for so long,
And
then
then they
she's
just
like,
let
"Let's
him
just
do
wear
it."
a dress."
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cute.
Like because I didn't expect
I like
them
the
to let him
safari
do
one.
it.
Yeah.
Profound badness. The season is nearly upon us, and many good allies will be receiving gifts in less than a month. If you could give one gift to one video
We'll
game
all be
character,
gone.
what would it be?
Aw.
Oh,
One
okay.
gift to one video game.
I would give the gravity gun to Hello.
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 What's
Hello.
that guy's name?
Blinks.
Yeah, I would give it to Blinks.
Cool. So
No,
I would
I'd give it to Gordon at the beginning of the game. You'd literally like start like just come out like he'd step off the subway and I'd be like, Merry Christmas. He'd be like, oh, cool.
Who the hell are
He
you?
wouldn't say a word to you. Dude.
Yeah.
That's right.
Here you go.
Nod.
I'd give a victory to Hop. Just give him a win.
Kyle,
Hop
I haven't
sucks.
finished it, but I was literally going to say your rival wins.
Yeah.
Your rival wins the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you can't like lose until can you lose to
I wonder. It's like you'd have to work to
You'd
lose
have
to
to
that.
try.
Yeah.
He gets every gym though. He gets
That
through all
should
the
be an
gyms before he...
achievement. Send that in.
Yeah.
Lose to your
Achievement.
Oh my God! Lose
With
to
a level
lose to
99
Hobbs.
team.
Lose to Hobbs. Oh my God! Just a bunch of magic harps.
really good.
A gift to someone.
I'm giving Ganon the Triforce.
Oh, Brad. Yeah.
There you go, buddy.
It's like wrapped.
Yeah.
What is this? I don't know.
It's like clearly the Triforce. Just wrapped. It's the same shape.
That's awesome.
And the Master Sword. Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know
It would
about
technically be
I don't know about one
character.
character, but I would give the ability to climb over things that are clearly easy to climb over.
Yeah. Just to everybody.
To
Oh,
everybody.
okay. You're right. Everybody needs
Yeah.
Everybody
that.
else not Link now.
Yeah.
Give Link's climbing abilities to every
Yes.
video game character ever.
That's fine.
Man.
It's just so funny to see just like this is a guardrail or something. And like I can't go through there. I'm like you can step over it.
Gift of revenge.
I'm trying to think of like what to give like a Silent Hill character.
All my favorite characters don't need anything.
Hey Huber, who needs a shotgun?
Nobody.
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 No one just checking.
Leon.
Nobody that doesn't
Leon's
already
got
have one.
shotguns
How about,
to spare.
Solid Snake's infinite ammo bandana.
Ooh.
Ah.
Who would you give that to?
Dude, Ellie.
Yo.
Never has to worry about bullets
Yes.
again, dude.
You can
Give her the Oculus camo
you
too.
can ease her pain in a lot of other ways.
Yeah. At least she doesn't have to worry about ammunition.
No,
She's like, you could have given me anything. You could have brought my dead girlfriend back.
Do you have any food to spare?
Infinite bullets. Okay, I guess. We'll take it.
Are we ready for the last question?
Bring it on.
Yeah.
It's from Zatvan Dude, who asks, Snom?
Snom is one of the new Pokemon.
Snom?
Yeah, Snom is it's a pre-moth, so it's like just an ice bug, cute little ice bug. Snom.
Yeah.
Snom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Pro
Sure.
Snom.
Pro
We
Snom.
did it.
No.
That is Easy Allies Q&A for the month of November. Thank you to everybody who submitted questions. Thanks to everybody who's been watching. Again, if you want to be involved in this is our $20 tier, patreon.com/easyallies. You would have to do that sometime.
Larval state, like a larva.
Okay.
That was the word I was searching for.
So it's
Oh,
like
okay.
that
Sorry,
hard.
didn't-
the
Oh,
one
well,
that
wait a
casts
minute.
hard
Wait a minute
on-
now. Wait a minute. I'm not,
Metapod, yeah.
It's a Metapod.
I'm not so sure now.
Okay.
I saw a really cute meme. I'll show
Now
you
this,
later.
now this needs to be a discussion.
Just let it in. Snom yes.
all right.
Snom yes.
Snom.
Find that meme.
Get snommed. If you want to be involved, you can join patreon.com/easyallies. At that $20 tier, you can up your pledge if you want to ask us questions in the month of December. Ben Moore will be back. Hopefully, he might not. I don't know. Did we schedule the Q&A for December?
Yeah, we're.
But we didn't
gonna
check
be-
in with Ben. We did not check in with
We
Ben.
didn't check in with Ben,
Okay.
but
What, is he not coming back? What's the
It's-
deal?
yes, he's coming.
It's coming back in December.
But we're
we might-
all going to be gone for the most
Yeah,
part.
we're all
So
gone.
it'll probably be more like the past Q&As than this.
check our schedule to know when the next Easy Allies Q&A will be. But we do this every
Well,
single
yeah,
month.
it's typically the end of
And
last Saturday of the month. But
If you are a $1
after that, it'll be
patron
different.
at patreon.com/easyallies, for the next episode, hand it over and let me know what you thought of this. We were changing up the format of how we do it. I kind of dug.
I
in the
liked
realm.
this
was
way
fun.
better.
Yeah.
Send Jordan some compliments too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like being in my own home.
I know you do.
I mean, but Kyle, you
6-1, not
having
bad.
an
I'll take it.
extra-
I'll take it.
I like on a day that we have to be here anyway.
Right.
I like this.
And we have a lot of fun together, but we have such a fun time with you. Apologies that we're not checking chat, but we're focused on people that asked those questions. Again, thanks to all of them that participated. And we love you all. See you next time.
Stay tuned. Like group stream
night.
is
Group
in
stream night,
like
just
2
couple
hours.
Go to the stream in a couple hours.
Couple hours. Then we'll have